After round one this year, Adelaide were on top of the ladder and Carlton were bottom. The Blues had travelled to Football Park and suffered a thrashing. It was the biggest losing margin of the weekend, 66 points. Back then, Tony Modra played like Godra, kicking 13 goals. The star sharpshooter and all his clubmates were the toast of the town. Today, the Crows' fate depends on the form of the three South Australians they fear most: Bradley, McKay and Kernahan. The three expatriates who did so much damage in last year's finals. South Australians will be celebrating this afternoon, but it might not be for the right reasons.
Hello and welcome to Princess Park for the big game today, Carlton and Adelaide. What a change for the Crows. They were talking premierships after that first match when they won by 66 points. Well, at the moment they'd be just hoping to make the 8. Modra so sure and so strong on the footy early in the year, kicked 13 goals against the Blues. Stood Stephen Silvani early in that match, had half a dozen before Silvani went off him. What a turnaround. Silvani's the best fullback in the competition at the moment, and Modra's been an underachiever over the last 6 weeks. The Crows are out on a perfect day here, and when we take a look at the ladder, Adelaide was top after that opening game. They've pummeled it down to 11th position. Just 2 wins from their last 8 matches since the bye, the week after they beat Brisbane in Brisbane. And what about the Blues? Up to second. They've won their last 6. If they win today, it'll be the longest winning streak this season. Gerard Healy, there's been some changes since round 1. We were both in Adelaide for that night.
Yeah, remarkable turnaround for both clubs, and really I think the Crows have got it on the line today. They haven't won here in Melbourne this year. They had a draw against St Kilda, and if they are to turn the tables and become a finals prospect, then they've got to win today here at Optus Oval.
Changes too for Carlton. Gee, some strength coming in with Williams and Mitchell.
Yes, a couple of possessions there between them. Stephen Silvani, of course, has been in outstanding form, as just said. He leads a magnificent backline, including Dean, Christou and Sexton, of course. But Justin Madden's been quite outstanding this year, and they've printed a T-shirt with "I'm just mad about Harry" on it over here. He's been almost a cult figure.
Well, Madden versus Wren should be a beauty. As we look at the Crows, 4 changes: Jarman, Schwert, Ingerson and McKinnon, the 19-year-old, for his first game.
Yes, good to see them blooding a few youngsters. That'll be important as the history of the Crows goes on. Ben Hart's been an important player, and he's stood up under the pressure of some fairly ordinary performances. I do believe that he may get the job tagging Craig Bradley, who's an important player. Tony McGuinness, well, he may be tagged, but I would think he'll start on Greg Williams. And Nigel Smart's a player with immense ability that probably needs to lift for the Crows to be competitive.
What about the shake-up from that opening round match? The players that didn't play that night and are playing here. Gee, look at Carlton, there's some strength there.
Yeah, a couple of All-Australian players there in Stephen Kernahan and McKay, and Spalding, of course, is... well, I don't think Carlton's lost a game since he came back into their side, and Lynn has also been good value across half-back. And the Crows, well, Pittman and Wellman's had a very good first year, but you have a look at the other players. Swert's only played 5 games, Kluzak's played 1. Ingerson's been in and out with only 4 games, and McKinnon, of course, playing his first one today. And the names you don't see there, that they are missing, Anderson and Hall.
So it does look as if the Blues, on paper, will start hot favourites here. A terrific day for footy. Back with the opening bounce after this.
To this level, and for the time he's played, the amount of years he's played.
No, I'd rather do that. Take the hot chair, mate.
I'm ready. Oh, gee, it's the sort of day you'd love to be getting a kick, wouldn't you? Snoop, you'd started, eh, son, out there?
Oh, it'd be beautiful.
You should have played for the Blues.
Oh, mate,
Look, Gerard would start it over the Blues. You know why? His 90% man's out there. His 90% man, Greg Williams, is out there.
Imagine how Williams would be playing if I was playing with him.
Hey, Dip, you didn't need Greg, did you?
Nah.
Son?
No way.
Nice hat, Dipper, too.
I would have made Greg Williams win 10 Brownlows.
Oh, that's right. You shared one with him.
I shared, well.
Yeah, by playing on him.
Hey, when you think about it, those 2 years, they were 4 of the biggest superstars we've ever had. Lockett and Platten, Dipper, Domenico and Williams. Oh, sure.
Dipper stands out head and shoulders above the lot, doesn't he?
How do you think Dunstan started? I mean, how do you think that Jason Dunstall started?
As a fat halfback flanker.
Yes, mate. back.
That's it.
Welcome back to Princess Park. We asked Neil Curley on Friday to give us the best 3 players for the Crows this year and the 3 that have been the most disappointing. Neil, welcome to the telecast. Give us your best 3 again, Curls. I think Wren was amongst them.
Yes, I went for Wren, and I thought that McGuinness has had a very, very good year, and I also thought that Bickley, before injured, was just sensational. So they're my 3, in my opinion, best, with Jamison just pushing close behind.
And the 3 that have been underachievers, you've named Smart, Modra, who has kicked 55 goals, and Tregenza.
Yeah, I feel those players can do a lot more than they've done over the last 6 or 7 weeks. I know Smart's been out injured, but he's been disappointing this year. Modra's been disappointing in the last, say, 6 or 7 games, and Tregenza just hasn't quite got it going this year yet.
Can the Crows win today, Neil?
Well, in football or in sport, anything is possible. They're certainly not favourites because they're not playing the best footy. You'd have to say that Dipper Carlton would be goals ahead on form, but the Crows can win, but I don't think they will.
And I'm telling you, Neil, they won't win.
Oh, no, they won't win. The Italian gelding said they won't win.
Well, I tell you, we know he's a gelding. I thought he was Italian. How are you, Dipper?
I'm very good, thank you, Bruce. There's a carnival atmosphere down here, and we've got our bags of peanuts and a terrific game to be seen here, and I think Carlton will win quite easily, Neil.
Who's the monkey at the carnival?
Have a look at him here.
There's a lot of peanuts down here. It is great. It's a great feeling down here today. It's just one of, I think all the Crows people are here, there's a lot of them. They're just, hoping that their side can come up with some sort of performance on the ground, which they haven't seen in Melbourne this year, particularly in the day games.
Well, it's a terrific crowd, Peter McKenna. Welcome to the telecast. It's nearly a packed house.
Good afternoon, Bruce. Good afternoon, Gerard and the boys downstairs. It is a packed house. All the Carlton supporters here in force, and a fair few Adelaide colours around there in the outer as well.
Now, Gerard, it looks like Brown, McKinnon, Liptak on the interchange for the Crows.
Yeah, pretty small bench there for Adelaide. Liptak, of course, hasn't had his best season either. Both he and Brown will be regarded as pinch hitters, coming on burst players, perhaps trying to pinch a goal.
Jarman playing out of the forward pocket with Modra in the goal square, Silvani on him.
Hogg looks to be lining up on Tony McGuinness.
And I notice no one picking up Greg Williams right now, Gerard, which is interesting, and obviously not going to tag him.
Well, I think you'll find somebody will be beside him after the bounce, Macca. And there's McGuinness going forward.
Yeah.
He'll pick up Williams.
Going there now.
Smart at centre half forward, Ingerson in the goal square. Start of the match at Princess Park. Crows kicking to the left of screen on a perfect day for football. A big atmosphere here. Let's hope the Crows can go with Carlton, who are hot favourites. McDermott out of the centre to Bickley. Bickley with a long ball up to centre half forward. Jarman in the front spot. Read it pretty well. Tried a quick kick away. Ingerson a left footer. Handball was very slow. Dean to mop up. Road one bump. Got a handball away under pressure. High tackle, and he'll take the free kick. He has had an outstanding season, Dean, and 50 metres against the Crows.
Can't afford that modern football, can you? 50 metres, that's a cutthroat rule, but it's there. So you have to hand that ball back on the full. As Bruce said, Peter Dean, a terrific season, a real old-fashioned type defender. Terrific ability to the half-forward line. Oh, that is a very, very good mark for Hogg.
Hogg's playing on Bickley.
So Hogg will kick from 55 metres. Former Footscray back pocket player. Wren is back in the square.
Usually a better shot for goal on the run than these set shots.
Here he is. Matthew Hogg, a beautiful looking kick to the square, and is it a mark? No, it hits the deck. Players pouncing on top of it, and they lock it in. It'll be a bounce right in front of the Carlton goal. As Bruce said, a very, very big crowd. Hardly a space in the arena. Madden down there, he's had a fine season. Big Harry Madden versus Sean Wren, the up-and-comer. Wren, they both missed it again. There's Bradley going to ground. Hart, almost a throw it was, taken away by Maynard. Maynard to the half-back line. Pace with McGuinness, but the bounce favours Greg Williams. The ball follows this man to the half-forward line. Punch the ground. Pouncing on top of it. Umpire calling play on the ball at half-forward as Mitchell goes for a hand pass back. and they race away the Crows and bring it to the half-forward line.
It was Kluzik's kick to half forward. Dean kept his feet well. Smart went to ground. Dean goes out wide. Gets to Christou, who's been terrific this year, as Gerard Heatley mentioned pre-match. Goes long. Kernahan at the back. Pittman in the front spot. And the mark, not Pittman, Lee, the mark paid.
Ben Hart is picking up Craig Bradley, so the Adelaide Spies getting their information right.
Lee, centre wing. Maynard from the side. Wren was there. Sporting, well played. Got it back to Fraser Brown in the direction of Williams. 3 to beat. Does he give a free kick away? McGuinness, who was very quiet on Bond last week, touched off the boot. Maynard punches it towards the boundary line. Mitchell with him. And it'll be a throw in. You get to talk to Mitchell and Williams quite a bit during the week. Are they both fit? They both missed last week, Gerard.
Yes, both pretty fit. Mitchell missed his injury, his match with a slight thigh strain, and Williams, of course, had the groin. But I think both precautionary rather than really having to miss the game.
Bickley's quick kick. We're having an Indian summer-type winter like you are in Adelaide. 18 degrees expected today. Here's Gleeson off centre wing. Wobbly old kick to centre half forward, falling in the hands of Hannah. Now he's going to kick from about 50 metres, Hannah.
It looks like Stephen Swartz running with Adrian Gleeson. Gleeson, of course, after coming back into the side, has been in outstanding form in the last half a dozen or so weeks. He's been a big contributor to Carlton's winning run.
Hannah for the first score you'd think of the match. Right on 50. Leans back. Good looking kick. It's a goal. Hannah with the opening goal of the match. And the Blues by 6 points.
And they look like a Rolls Royce at the moment, Carlton. They've just got very good players all over the ground. That combination between Gleeson and Milhana bobbing up with it. There's Wellman. He's just getting away from him for a split second. Judged it a little bit better, and he's such a good kick, Milhana, that he becomes a dangerous player every time he gets the ball.
First blood to the Blues, but that's Rashudo coming through centre. The long kick. Silvani punches the ball away. There's Dean, the typical defender, heading back towards the safety of the boundary line. Scoops it wide. He's looking for his partner down there in Christou. Christou further afield to McKay, and he takes it over the line. But some plenty of talent down on that back line, Gerard, for Carlton.
Great players all over the place down there, particularly with the likes of Christou, who's really improved, as you see the figures for the last time they played. Adelaide careered away that day. An exciting day at Football Park to win by 66 points, and they look like the premiership force.
Well, there's McKay kicking it in mid-air. A hurry kick further afield, and the mark is taken down there by Wellman, who's a greatly improved player, Sean Wellman. Wellman from centre wing. Tries to bring it in towards the half-forward line. Maynard had to show courage. Here's Wren charging after. Tries to get in a hand pass. Was caught a little bit high, Sean Wren. And he will take the kick from about 55 metres.
Well, Adelaide's got 2 players to take the mark down in the square with Modra and Ingerson. Ingerson, not a great kick, as everybody in Adelaide would know, but can really take a spectacular mark.
So Sean Wren from 55. It'll take a very good kick from there. Let's see what the big fella can do. He lays back, brings it to the square. A pack of players fly for it. It's no mark. Here's a chance, though. Around the corner goes Nigel Smart. A very good attempt at goal. He's put it through. A brilliant goal to the centre half forward, and that might lift the Crows. Scores a level.
Well, I believe that Nigel Smart is the linchpin for the side. He's an extremely talented player, and when he's down, the Crows appear to flounder somewhat. He missed a couple of games with a broken scaphoid. You can see there's still got bandages on his wrist. He really does give them that bit of class and something extra up forward.
Madden and Wren to go together. Wren down to McDermott, sweeps the handball out. Christou back to McGuinness. McGuinness sideways to Kluzek. Well done, Christou. Not a good handball by Kluzek. Bradley was tackled. Now Dean. So Adelaide with a turnover. McGuinness a moment ago was running towards goal. Now Gleeson, high left footer and wide. Pittman goes with Kernahan. Hannah well played. Hannah's handball to Williams. Williams sidesteps. Handball back to Hannah. Heaver sweating off, waiting for it. Hannah's with it again. Goes back. Gives it to Mitchell. Mitchell to Williams. He's caught by McGuinness. A good tackle holding the footy. So some spirited play from both sides there.
Williams will be saying that he didn't get an opportunity to get rid of the ball, but he had the opportunity to put the bumper bar up, and he's got such quick hands. Probably could have got rid of it.
Bickley with a beauty at centre wing. Signs are pretty good for Adelaide early here. It's been a reasonably positive start. Centre half forward. Smart's big fly. Rashudo made a mistake, put a strong tackle on the ground. Tregenza off the ground. Maynard, Koutafidis with terrific pace. Still Koutafidis. Adelaide should get him. They had 3 onto him at one stage. Sexton threw it away, slapped it out. Got it to Brown. Brown to Lynn. Lynn goes high to centre wing.
Scott Lee. Oh, there are some good signs for Adelaide. They look pretty switched on to me. Lee kicks it wide. The player racing after it for Adelaide is Kluzek. Here's their chance. A chip pass into Maynard. He should steady here. He does. Good play, Maynard. Some players might have been tempted, Gerard, to play on in that situation.
Yeah, good to go back if you are a reasonably good kick and take the set shot.
So Rodney Maynard, a jack of all trades, can play on a wing, centre half back, half forward. Good honest goer, Maynard. Directly in front for the Crows' second. A very, very high kick. Will it clear the pack? No, it won't. It was touched, and the reason it didn't make the distance was when he kicked it a million miles in the air.
Yeah, perhaps the Crows have just got to look at that forward square, that square set up. They had 5 players flying for it. They've all got a lot of high flyers down there, with obviously now with Nigel Smart going down for those set kicks. Perhaps they just should leave a little bit more space for Modra, who can take the big specky.
Silvani short, gets to Hogg. Hogg wide to Lynn. Lynn outside 50 defensive. Runs 10 metres, kicks it to 50 metres. A good kick to Hannah. Wellman, no free kick to Hannah. Jamison sprints away to Wren. Oh no, wrong option. Schwerk caught. Gee, Wren, that was a poor bit of footy. Jamison back to Bickley. Bickley off one leg to centre half forward. Ingerson worked his way to the front cleverly. It was punched away. Taken by Modra. Should have reflexed handball to Jarman. Didn't do it. Tried to break a tackle. Sexton's quick one. Wren should take an easy one. He does at centre wing to Bickley. Bickley in the heart of the centre square. Squeezes it beautifully to Ingerson. And this is an important kick. I know it's early days. He should go back and kick a goal. He's 40 metres out, right in front.
Nice little shepherd there from Jamison too to protect Sean Wren from Earl Spalding, who was coming across. They're the little things in football that help you win games, and perhaps they haven't been happening for Adelaide of late.
Ingerson's kick, pretty good, very close, and just missing. So Maynard and Ingerson have both had shots within kicking distance. The Crows are 1-2, Carlton are a goal.
An awkward looking kicking style with Anthony Ingerson as he drops it from a height onto his boot. Now, we mentioned earlier what a great season Silvani's had.
He's been magnificent. You would have expected Adelaide to come out fired up. They've copped a bit of stick in the press at home and also plenty here in Melbourne. It'll be more to do how they can fire in the second half when it gets down to hard work rather than the initial opening burst.
Here's Kluzak receiving from Nigel Smart, who's moving very well. Now Kluzak's bringing it in short. Good play to Schwerk. Now this will be their third set shot. Now he's going over to Maynard. Oh, this is some really good signs for Adelaide at the moment. They're controlling a lot of the football, but the last kick he had from here, Gerard, he kicked far too high and didn't make the distance. Let's see what he does this time. Rodney Maynard from 51 metres. That's a better looking kick. Still high. Will it clear the pack? It's close. Oh, a touch right on the line. So just outside his kicking distance.
Well, there's not many players in the AFL who you can back in from outside the 50-metre zone, and it becomes a very low percentage kick.
Silvani short to Christou. In the left back pocket. Good kick. Low and long. Hannah the big fly. Unable to hold it. Fraser Brown, well done. Crashed his way through McGuinness and Bradley. Dean. Pick up was okay. Able to steady, square it to Hannah. All cut off well by Jamison.
He read that well, didn't he?
He's a good player, Jamison. Leading goal kicker of the club in the opening season. Gives it to Bickley on the run. Bickley, who will be much better off for playing last week. McKay. Rashudo worked underneath it. That should be a terrific matchup. Rashudo and McKay. Two players in their second season. McKay with a bit more age on him. Well played, Williams to Sexton to Williams. The Diesel. Looks for Kernahan. You spotted it. Snooper Healy. And Kernahan at centre half forward takes the mark.
You could just see Kernahan just holding his lead back. He could see the space to the right, and he knew Williams wanted to get a little bit closer so he could punch the ball to him so he wouldn't have to sit underneath it. It was just terrific forward work to watch displayed.
Kicks from 50. Good looking kick by Kernahan, just drifting away, hitting the post behind. So the Blues are 1-1, the Crows are 1-3. Carlton going for their 7th consecutive win. Adelaide have won 2 with 1 draw in their last 8. Yet to win in Melbourne this year. Last year they beat Richmond in the opening game and then beat Hawthorn at the MCG in the first of the finals.
Scott lead in the centre of the ground. Good mark by Fraser Brown. On the Williams. Williams the chip pass again. Oh, the mark dropped down there by Spalding. He's not happy. Pittman to Chris McDermott. McDermott the long kick to the half-forward line. The Crows players waited for it. That's bad play by Rashudo. Should have attacked that ball. Here's McKay. McKay to half-forward. Oh, pressure put on by Adelaide. The ball though bounces over the back. Spalding is there and Jamison. Jamison with desperation. Good play by Rodney Jamison. Back towards the line. Kicked off the ground. Oh, Heaver an attempted soccer. And with the World Cup on.
Maggio kicked one of those this morning from exactly the same spot. What's wrong with Heaver? Should have scored.
It was a good attempt. This league. Oh, it's an ordinary kick. It'll favour Hart. Hart. They go over the top. No, he's going to chip it in short. It was an ordinary kick. Kluzak, that's bad play. It was on the Hannah. Hannah brings it in front of goal. And the mark will be taken there by Lee.
And Schwert wide, but he's going to go in short. Gets to Jamison, who started very well. From centre half back, good, strong kick. Rashudo and Smart both flew for it. Down on the ground. Oh, Rashudo knocked McDermott over. The captain will be cross with that. And McKay and Rashudo over the top.
You don't mind seeing that, Bruce, early in the game. Both players eager to get hold of the ball. I'm sure McDermott wasn't overly pleased with it, but...
just thinking from the wasted opportunity point of view.
Most definitely. But there'll be plenty more of those, and if they've got the mindset right, aggression of the ball will count for them positively in the long run.
Christo did all right in the tight one there. Kudafides up towards Heaver. Heaver got rid of it in a hurry. Jamison sweeps the handball. He's been good early, hasn't he, Tregenza? That's very poor footy. He should have handballed it to McDermott and hit him on the chest. He's held him up. Now the captain goes to centre half forward. Christo with courage. Modra took the mark.
Well, what's fairly clear early in the game, Bruce, is that the Crows are trying to play straight down the middle of the ground. They haven't sort of gone very wide. They've had Ingerson and Modra leading up the middle of the ground, and also Smart giving them options. And all the players are swinging towards the midfield rather than poking it out and playing possession football.
Great kick by McDermott.
Lovely.
Modra from 40 metres out. Leans back. Good kick. He's kicked the goal. Gee, I like the Crows early. I know it is early days, and Carlton's got a great pedigree, but 2-3 to 1-2.
Well, the best thing is I think we're in for a pretty competitive game, whereas a lot of people thought that perhaps Carlton couldn't kill Adelaide here. They have started showing that they mean business and they're not going to lay down and die. That's the way they have to play with a player that can lead like Modra. You don't have to be a superstar to be on the end of those kicks.
Crows by 7 points. That's holding the ball. In fact, the throw the umpire played. It's Bickley. There's good signs for Adelaide. Bickley kicks it wide. Modra on the lead. He'll jump. Yes! Oh, brilliant mark by Modra. And good signs, Gerard Healy, that he's leading straight up the middle.
Well, that's what a lot of people have been calling for this Adelaide side. They believe that they have been fiddling around too much, too many possessions. And he did just cop one late, right in the mince pie there.
Well,
but he has started the game with confidence, kicked the goal, should get another one.
Tony Modra, gee, this would lift him if he could kick this from 45 metres. There's the kick. Oh, that was an ordinary looking run in, and when he took about 2 or 3 paces then, Modra, just didn't look good, and a bad miss. 2-4 to 1-2, so 6 shots to 3, but some really good signs. Adelaide should be further in front.
Sexton goes long. Dean the target. Tregenza at the back. Brown with him. Rashudo's hip and shoulder. Good. Broke the tackle. Gave it to Tregenza. Had to kick in a hurry. Did all right. Modra takes the mark. So right on the 50. Centering kick. Not bad. Kluzak, Maynard. They've got numbers. Silvani, Christou. Silvani punches it to the boundary line. Finds it out of play. Stephen Silvani, who started the season ingloriously in Adelaide, had his colours lowered, but has been outstanding since. If the AFL team was picked right now, that all-star team, he'd be at fullback. I know that because one of the selectors is sitting 2 away from me, and he told me that the other night. Christo and Sexton, no, he didn't really. Wouldn't give that sort of information away, but he'd be close, Jared, wouldn't he?
He'd have to be close, Bruce.
Yes, it'd either be he or Chris Langford, you would think. As we look at the sportsbook odds, well, the Carlton hot favourites, 5's on, 11-4 Adelaide in a 2-horse race. Pretty good odds. So Madden versus Wren, I'm looking forward to that contest. Here's Chris McDermott, good play. He's a terrific player, McDermott. Schwert, a quick kick in front of goal. Over the back, a chance for Jarman. Can he pick it up? Andrew Jarman trying to knock it on. Modra has it taken away by Sexton. Here's Silvani. Silvani butters up, has a bounce. Comes away around the half-back line, Steve Silvani. A casual bounce. Brings it in short. It's an ordinary kick. Koutafidis is caught in the tackle. Grabbed by Nigel Smart. He kicks it in long. Modra a chance. He'll jump from the back. Tony Modra's taken another ripper. 15 metres out from goal.
Once again, Adelaide displaying those 1% things in football that all coaches harp and go on about. A great turnover on centre wing right in front of the commentary position was what caused this set up for goal. A good smother, good turnover.
So Modra for his second, and he's kicked it. 2 goals to the full forward. His confidence is up, and are we in for a boil over? Adelaide doing well, 3-4 to 1-2, but a long way to go.
Yes, Adelaide doing everything that could be asked of them at the moment. Interesting that McGuinness has had very little use of the football, but they're playing far better. He has Greg Williams under control, of course. Williams has got his hands on it a few times. A long way to go, as you say, Pete.
3-4 to 1-2, Crows lead by 14 points in the early days. Free kick to Carlton out of the centre. Some infringement there. Justin Madden, a shocking kick. Gleeson, it would have fallen in Bradley's arms, but he wasn't to know that, Gleeson. A high one, wide. Lee getting set. Punches it away. Brown to Mitchell. Quick left foot around his body. Bouncing ball. Pittman worked Kernahan under it pretty well. Out of bounds in the left forward pocket. The Blues deep in attack. There's Wellman in his first season, just 19 years of age. Adelaide with that advantage, Gerard.
They're doing quite nicely out of the middle. Wellman started on Mitchell, but he's now picking up Milhannon.
There's Wren. Handball to Jamison. Over the top to Tregenza. Away with a bounce. Koutafidis in chase. Well done by Maynard to hold Koutafidis up. Tregenza's handball ordinary. Oh, Rashudo did well. Smart's got to kick a goal after that. On the run. Hooks it. And looks like he's hit the post. Well, Rashudo, well played then, under enormous pressure.
Great presence of mind. Probably got the call from Nigel Smart, but boy, it was an excellent disposal. Just a hook over the back. Should have been a goal from Smart.
Well, there should be goals in front, Adelaide.
Yeah, that's the worry, isn't it? 3-5-1-2. You say the way they're playing, there should be 5 goals in front, not 2.5. Silvani goes long. Wren didn't quite hold it.
She's playing well, Wren.
He's doing very well. He's on the bottom of all of that. Quick kick away by the Blues. Didn't go that far. Well done by Spalding to give the run of the ball to McKay.
Andrew McKay to Fraser Brown. He'll bring it into half-forward. Madden. Oh, good play, Scott Lee. He's playing very, very well.
Great play. He left his man, Heaver, 10 metres away, attacked the football, and now has moved it on quickly to Maynard.
Now Maynard's on his own, way out there. He's chipping it wide. He's looking for Rashudo. Can he get there? Yes, he can. Gee, some good signs for Adelaide. Another loose man. Nigel Smart can look for Wren. Oh, he's covered now. Now he's bringing it in. A big chance from Mark. Ignason marks. Oh, gee, there's some good signs. I'll say it again, but they're playing well, Adelaide.
Yeah, Tom Elvin coming on to replace Fraser Brown. You'd think he would have a negative role. Brown was on Maynard on the wing. Elvin's been told to go straight over, stand on Maynard. Don't give him a sniff.
Here's that awkward kicking style. That's an awful kick, but it's in front of goal. And Madden's dropped the sitter. Wren goes in against Silvani. Silvani takes it away off the side of the boot. McKay has to show courage. Hannah is there. Hannah sweeping around the back of the pack. Gives a hand pass off. Good play to Andrew McKay. McKay coming through the centre of the ground has a bounce. Rings it to the half-forward line. And the mark will be taken there by Earl Spalding to the roars of delight.
Jamison, well, there's a spare man on him. Gleeson, you have to go.
Gleeson's on his own in the pocket. Gleeson will mark, and he's not tempted to run on. as he ducked back to the pocket. Good play by Gleeson. Kick from a slight angle. Should be able to kick it from there, the little rover. And the Blues have been outplayed so far.
Jefferson just made the mistake of watching his man rather than the ball, and Spalding, who had the ball, took an easy mark.
Adrian Gleeson, I think he's missed by the size in the crowd. You can almost hear that sigh from up here in the commentary box. He didn't even need to look at the goal umpire. So 3-5 to 1-3 and a very promising start by the Adelaide Crows.
31-year-old Scott Lee, oldest player for Adelaide out there, goes long and wide. Pittman just with the one arm. Heaver, busy at 55. Low kick to fall for Kernahan, judged it beautifully. Took the mark, went to play on. Goes back to Hogg. Hogg kicks a goal. Good handle by Mitchell. Hogg's first, Carlton second. 2-3-3-5.
Too easy, that goal. You'll think you called it, Bruce. We didn't quite see it there, but David Pittman should have come back harder and made a better contest of that one at the kick-in. Only had the one arm up. It was a good smother to prevent Stephen Kernahan getting an easy goal, but there's just too many. Beckley doing extremely well. He's had 8 touches already, and an easy goal to finish.
So 8 points Adelaide lead by. Centre of the ground, Gleeson. Maynard tried to smother, knocked on by Christou. Off the ground, tempted off the ground. Hogg on. Look at the work by Wren, getting it to hard. Gee, Wren's working overtime. Koutafidis. He's the one with the pace. Gets his boot to it. Out wide, Andrew Mackay takes the mark and brings it around the boundary line because he saw out in the corner of his eye Matthew Hogg. Hogg can go to Madden here. No, he's not. He's going to keep running with it. Hogg chips it in short. There was an ordinary kick. Over the back. Oh, they go in. Scott Lee went in very hard at the ball. Here's Spalding around the corner, but waiting in the wings is Wellman right in the square to take the mark.
She goes one for Maynard. Poor kick. Alvin with him. Important ball. Maynard did all right. McDermott, Schwert didn't take it cleanly. Heaver worrying him out of it. Schwert's handball on to McGuinness. Quite early McGuinness on his wrong side. Gets good distance. Christou tries to juggle one. Kluzek with him. Free kick Christou. At half-back. Kluzek looked all right when he came on last week. Handballed a goal to Liptak and then kicked one himself in the pocket when things were desperate. Marked by Schwert at the no free kick going to Wren, is it?
Yep. He's playing a game.
Back.
Goes very short, Wren. McDermott able to break the tackle. High left foot, doesn't go very far. Kluzek, Christou comfortably. A free kick that time. No, it was going to go to Carlton. Now advantage. Everyone stopped for the moment. Mitchell kicks it to half forward. In the front spot though was Jamison. Kernahan coming in late. Mitchell's kick not all that good on that occasion. Had a bit more time than he probably thought. So Jamison, who's had Spalding under control except for one mark, goes to centre wing. Smart at the back. Tried to tap it on Rashuto and Mackay. Mackay just scoops it back. Now Kluzek, handball, goes to Dean. Dean from half-back.
Peter Dean. The half-follow, good mark to Hannah, using his body very, very well. Mill Hannah, a very strong player.
Just got a bit too much experience for Welland at the moment.
So he brings it in towards Kernahan and Madden. And Madden, Kernahan a little nudge out. And Madden leans over the pack to take a well-judged mark. And they love him here at Carlton.
Well, they're just mad about Harry. And they made a T-shirt to say.
You'll see Kernahan, the little nudge out there against Pittman. And then Madden. He's surprised us this year. He's actually kicked a couple of goals with clever little snapshots. And when he does that, the crowd roars with delight. So big Justin from... He's normally an accurate kick for goal too. He's directly in front. And there's the siren as he runs in the kick. And Madden has put that through for a goal.
Well, a good finish to the Blues with the last couple of goals, and they move up to within 2 points of the Crows at quarter time. Splendid opening term, 3-3 to 3-5. Quarter time at Princes Park. The Crows are 2 points in front. It's Carlton 3-3, Adelaide 3-5.
This match is part of the Fosters 1994 AFL Premiership season.
Now there is another match in progress at the moment at the Sydney Cricket Ground, Sydney against Brisbane. There will be a replay this afternoon for our viewers at SAS 7 following Carlton Adelaide. So if you don't want to know the score, look away now.
You just keep me hanging on.
And a bit of news from there is that Simon Minton-Connell left the ground on a stretcher with an injured neck. He ran into his teammate, so let's hope he's okay. Neil Curley and the Big Dipper on the boundary line. Curls, I had the feeling Adelaide should have been 3 or 4 in front.
Well, certainly, Bruce, I'd say the most encouraging start for a long time here in Melbourne. The players are at the ball very hard today. Get out the way, pal. They're at the ball very, very hard, and it's a much more impressive start. And Dipper, you'd have to agree that even though Carlton, I thought, may have pinched the honours, that Adelaide today are at the ball a lot harder.
There's some good signs there, Curls, especially out of the back line with Jamison playing quite well, Lee, Bickley in the middle, and Modra and Smart taking some good marks.
That's the key. See, we haven't had Modra and Smart firing this year, particularly lately. If those two boys can keep control of their positions like they have at this stage, well then Adelaide could pinch this game, but it's very early.
And for Carlton, Bradley has been unsighted.
Young Hart's doing a great job on him, and Bradley, of course, is one of their main playmakers.
So maybe this could be one of those games I could have been wrong, picking Carlton.
Well, Curls, but perhaps they had a look at your list, Smart and Modra, before the game started, because they have started all right, haven't they?
They certainly have, and it's encouraging signs for the Crows.
Good on you, thanks for that. The Big Dipper and Neil Curley on the boundary line. Gerard?
Well, I heard that SAFM Mark Bickley say that Modra had to present himself a little bit better, and I think he is doing that, but more importantly, they're winning the ball from the middle and going through the centre of the ground.
3-5, 3-3. McDermott to Bickley. Bickley out of the centre, goes inside 50. Jarman's been quiet early. Silvani punches it away, gives Kudavides an opportunity. Sat, waited for the bounce, got it to Lynn. Lynn off half back, goes high end long up to half forward. Heavers in a wrestling match with Lee, who had a good opening turn. Mitchell and Hart running for it. Hart just not able to keep it in. I don't think he'll be too disappointed with that. Turned 20 during the week, Ben Hart. There's Barry Mitchell. 196 games today. He's creeping up to the 200. He's got some mates at Carlton that are getting there too. Williams, Kernahan, Bradley, all around that mark. Alvin just over it. There's a lot of experience. Madden. There's Mitchell. Back to full forward. Pittman worked out of it. Handed to kick the goal to put the Blues in front. Goes for it. It's close. I think he's got it. Carlton in front. And that was the danger for Adelaide. So much good work early, but not being able to put it on the scoreboard.
It's a big ask for young Wellman. He's been an excellent player this year in his first year of football, but I just think it's probably a bit of an ask to have him counter Milan Hanna, who's one of the very talented players of the AFL. This just snuck in if it was a goal, but it's on the scoreboard, and that's all that counts. And I guess now we'll find out whether the aggression and confidence that Adelaide showed in the first quarter was paper thin or whether it went a bit deeper than that.
Wren versus Madden. Wren won it. Williams with the hand pass. Christou knocks it on Ben Hart, who did so well on Bradley early in the piece. It's a tunnel ball job up to Sexton. Sexton a hurry kick. It'll favour Adelaide. Now Tregenza's got to do something with this ball. He brings it into the pocket, and the mark taken by Rashudo. Ingerson was also there, but I think Rashudo's a better kick for goal than Ingerson. So he's an injury. Wellman's either injured or coming off the ground.
You would say he's just coming off the ground.
And the young player coming in, Martin McKinnon, for his first game. Now here's Mark Rashudo. Normally a very good kick. This is a difficult one, way out in the boundary line. Only 35 metres from goal, in front of the Carlton Social Club. The kick from Rashudo looks good. What a beautiful kick. It's a goal. Oh, that's a good kick from that position. And once again, Adelaide hit the front, this time by 2 points.
Adelaide have made that move. Maynard coming over onto Milan Hanna. McKinnon will go over onto the other wing on Tom Alvin. Perhaps we'll see Fraser Brown come back onto the ground, but that's why Rashudo is such a dangerous player. He could easily go to full forward and perhaps kick 80 or 90 goals in a season, but he's just as home in the middle of the ground, where he could end up one of the great centremen of the league.
Madden goes with Wren. Adelaide lead by 2 points, 4-5 to 4-3. Koutafidis had a second go at it, held on to for a long time, gets the free kick. It was loose by Bickley in the end because Koutafidis was gone. Goes to centre half forward. Pittman, Kernahan. Pittman playing in front. Missed by Schwert. He's taken the long sleeve Guernsey off. Gleeson sweeps it back. Alvin has to break 2 tackles. Couldn't quite. Ducking at the end was Hogg. Bickley went in underneath it. Spalding, well done. The handball not so good. Mitchell tries to pave his way through. Adelaide are onto him. Williams has it smacked away from him. Pittman caught by Hogg. And it'll be the umpires at centre half forward.
Well, Adelaide gang tackling then. That's a good sign, Gerard.
Yes, we haven't seen them do much bruising in the last couple of matches, and you've got to have a physical presence in any game of AFL football. It has been lacking.
Williams and Bradley both reasonably quiet, particularly Bradley for the Blues, or Jarman. The tackle looked all right. He staged for a free kick, didn't get it. McDermott. Alvin goes with McKinnon in his first match. Got his hands on the footy and it's gone out of play.
Well, if the umpire said he was staging, if he was fair, he would have pinged him for holding the ball. Well, that's the way the umpire saw it. Half forward, Wren versus Madden. Oh, Madden, the big hand over. Well taken by Maynard, or an awkward hand pass. Now he's got it, gets it to Schwert. Caught was McDermott. Oh, the umpire was on the blind side. Grabbed by Tony McGuinness, but he took it over the line. And the umpire didn't have a good view of that one.
Fair to the umpire. He had to look through a wall of players.
Exactly. The Carlton supporters not happy. They felt that McDermott had been pinged. But we're seeing a good game of football. The Crows in front by 2 points. A big game for them. A huge game for Adelaide. Wren and Madden. Madden taps it down. Gleeson to Williams. Where's Kernahan? There he is against Pittman, and the big fella goes up and marks it high in his chest. What a great kick from Greg Williams.
Well, the Adelaide Crows should have somebody at the defensive hip of Justin Madden. Every tap-in for the last 50 years at boundary throw-ins, he has just dropped it where possible to his defensive hip. And you just saw that. It was like clockwork. Whipped it down. I think it was to Bradley, who got it to Williams, who then pinpointed Kernahan.
Kernahan for his first goal of the game and the lead for the Blues. And he slams it through for a goal. Steve Kernahan's first after a great kick by Greg Williams, and the Blues by 4 points.
Yes, boundary line throw-ins. Harry Madden is no better. It was actually Gleeson that got it. There was the defensive hip. He doesn't try to move it more than about a metre. Just lets it drop to the ground. That's why Kernahan and Williams are such a dynamic duo.
Five, 3-4-5. Kernahan's opening goal. Bradley, one of his few touches. Jamison, Spalding, over the head. McGuinness, Williams, well played. A hot one though for Gleeson. Ridden into the ground by Bickley, free kick. It was all over him, Bickley, smothering him in the end. Gleeson to kick from 52 metres. Kernahan's in the goal square. Made a half-hearted lead, keeps going. Hannah drifts back with Kernahan. Gleeson kicks it to the front of the square. Madden's there. Wren got a hand to it. Kernahan. Now Maynard on hands and knees. Gives it away. Not a good handball. Gleeson with another opportunity. Back to Spalding. High left footer. Madden underneath it. Pittman. Hannah. Hannah takes a mark. Fourth man in line. And Pittman caught out a couple of times in similar situations. Hannah to kick his third goal.
Yes, well, Hannah is playing on the wing, but he's getting down into the forward line and creating a lot of damage. 2 goals already. Had one man benched. And now he's taken Maynard, who's been one of the Crows' better players.
Kicks from 20 metres out. Goes for it, puts it through. Hannah with his third. Every now and then he has these matches where he kicked 4 or 5 goals, doesn't he? And then he'll go for long periods where he might scrape one and often not. Some mistakes by the Crows. Maynard giving it away, and then Pittman.
And they're making an interchange. It's Stephen Swert coming off the Optus Oval, and Brown coming on for his first run.
10 points the margin. Adelaide lead. Madden again, one that hit out. Here's McKay.
Carlton in front, Pete.
Chris McDermott, or caught in the back. Umpire plays the advantage as Mark Rashudo races into goal and blasted wide and through for a behind.
Brown moving over onto Gleeson. Swart was given the tagging role on Adrian Gleeson. He's now had 9 possessions at only the early part of the second quarter and was creating a bit of damage.
Christou finds Hogg. Hogg cleverly plays on to Sexton. Sexton brings it around the half-forward line. No mark. It's tapped on. Maynard was grabbed off the ball.
Should have been a free.
Umpire calls play on. Here's McKinnon. McKinnon still working hard in the pack and eventually gets himself a free kick, the young player. And in his first game for the Adelaide Crows, Martin McKinnon will send it over centre wing here. Not a bad kick to the half-forward line. Dean and Smart. Dean with a big fist away. Can Williams get there? Tregenza went past it. Well played, Koutafidis on to Williams. Oh, Williams breaks the tackle to Mitchell. Carlton go forward. Kernahan and Pittman. Kernahan read it better than Pittman. Headers on his own in the square, but he's going to go back and have a kick. The Carlton captain. Pittman completely misjudging a couple of these high balls, Gerard.
Yeah, well, you saw Kernahan with his hand up into the sun, just trying to protect his vision. Perhaps Pittman struggled also, not knowing where it was, but also had the added problem of having to find his player.
Kernahan across the face of goal, but Madden's there, yes! And Big Justin has marked to the delight of this Carlton crowd, and he will kick from 5 metres. He's already kicked one. And he should not miss this. Justin Madden.
He really has turned the tables at the moment on Wren. Wren's the one having to worry about Madden, whereas earlier in the season, the big problem was how was the slow loping Justin Madden going to counter Wren?
Here he is, kicking and puts it through for a goal. So 2 goals to Justin Madden, and the Blues gaining the ascendancy here. They lead by 15 points.
So the big challenge now is for Sean Wren to come back a little bit with 2 goals. Harry clearly on top, perhaps not so much in the ruck division in the middle, but certainly Harry set up the last goal that we saw Kernahan kick, coming from a Gleeson handball to Williams. Andrew Jarman looks like he's coming into the middle of the ground.
Carlton's kicked 6 of the last 7 goals. They lead 7-3 to 4-6. After Adelaide led by 14 points in the opening quarter. Madden with a couple of goals and Wren. Wren got a high tackle, gets a free kick, allowed to play on. Goes towards full forward, hasn't been down there for a little while. Oh, well done, Silvani, brilliantly played. Lynn got a little push from Smart, gets a free kick. Play on given. The advantage to Mitchell. Swings it to Williams, who's starting to have a big effect. McGuinness, oh, Williams gets it out wide. Free kick to Williams. Is it? Against Jarman, who hasn't been able to get into the game at all. Mitchell goes to Bradley. Bradley stops, waits, takes Tregenza on, has a bounce, centres the ball. Madden can't quite get to it. Alvin sets himself strongly, couldn't quite hold it. Hart goes to ground. Jamison's handball missed its mark, no free kick. Hogg was looking for one. McGuinness gets it off. Wren goes short. Gets and finds Rashudo at centre wing. Crows needing a goal. Trailing 4-6 to 7-3. Rashudo goes towards Smart. Couldn't quite hold it. Has a second go. Little one off the ground. Still after it. Lynn in pursuit. Well shepherded by Brown. Gee, Smart made a bit of a mess of it. Got it to Brown, deep in the pocket. Brown's kick towards full forward. That's in the front spot. Christou against Kluzek and takes an easy mark.
They're a great backline, this Carlton backline. Look at Williams out in his zone. He can bring it around this half-forward line. He's found Hogg. Oh, he's dropped the centre, Matthew Hogg. That's not like him. Bickley races after it near the boundary line and quite happy to see it go over. Saw signs of why Nigel Smart's such a good athlete before when he flew for the mark. Recovered so quickly. There's Madden tapping it towards Mitchell. Gleeson, been a good player. Latches onto this ball. Back it comes to Christou. Christou to Spalding. Beautiful kicking by Christou. Well, we come to expect that. Kernahan on the lead. It's kicked up high to him versus Pittman. Wren is there also, and Sean Wren gets back to help his full-back out. That was good play by the big fella.
Adelaide's gone on the full-on attack. They've moved Jarman one-on-one onto Mitchell. Sorry, onto Williams, which has released McGuinness.
If Jarman's to be in the side, he's got to be in the middle of the ground, Gerard, not in the forward pocket.
I'm not sure about that now. I'm just looking, they've changed their players back, and McGuinness is going back onto Williams.
Christo flew, Kluzek's handball to McGuinness at close quarters. McGuinness a high ball to half forward. Smart sets himself, had a good feel of it. Brown goes to ground, hotly pursued. In there was McKinnon, and it's going to be Alvin on the bottom of it as well. And Adelaide at 4-6 to 7-3, deep into the second quarter, needing a quick goal.
Now it is Jarman. He's going down to pick up Greg Williams, and Williams has actually moved himself down onto the half-forward flank.
Here's Mitchell off the side of the boot. Some holding going on. Who was holding who? In fact, it's against Spalding. I think it was a bit of 6 of one, half dozen on the other on that occasion, but it has been paid. This is Jamison, is in good form. A beautiful kick of a ball. Smart. Look at him flying through the air. That's Hogg with a quick hand pass. Chris McDermott. Back it comes with a hand pass to Wren. That was from Kluzek. And finally, Wren puts it out on the full, and you just can't afford that sort of sloppy football. Sexton at half-back in front of the Carlton Social Club. Michael Sexton, one of those dependable Carlton backmen. Spalding flies. Hart. Oh, caught high. The ball calls play on. Bradley receives, and off he goes.
Runs laterally, then, good play to Madden. Gee, the vision was outstanding to Williams. The Diesel, will he take Jarman on? Decides not to. Swings a beautiful handball to Alvin in the pocket. Now, well played Tregenza, got back, smothered it out of play. Left forward pocket for the Blues. They're going like winners. It's early days, I know, but they've kicked 6 of the last 7. And they're mounting another challenge here. So Madden getting most of the footy from the throw-ins. Tregenza, look for a free kick. Maynard, all well taken by Lee. Over the top. McKinnon tucks it under his arm for a moment. On his wrong side, the right. Rashudo got a fairly bad bounce. Christo's handball was first class to Williams. A long way away from Jarman. Goes to full forward. Kernahan sets himself. At the back, Bickley. Kernahan tries a hip and shoulder. Bickley paddles it out to Wren. Bradley was able to cut it off. Wren again got another go at it. Hard high tackle, free kick. Heaver a bit stiff though, because Hart sort of went into him with his head down. Heaver put the arms around and gave it away. Hart short.
Chips it into Pittman. Wren, a very good second effort then by Wren in that back pocket. When he lost it, then went again. So Pittman with a big job on Kernahan. Mackay is very, very strong overhead. Takes a good mark. Away he goes to the half-forward line. The Crows players come in from the side. Lee playing well, was helped. And a free kick to Scott Lee. He and Jamison doing well down there. Lee kicks a wide. This is better play because he's found Jarman. I think personally this is a good move. But Jarman's got to be brought into the play. Now he's got it. Brings it into the pocket. Modra at the back. But chipping across the front is Peter Dean.
Well, I agree with you. Jarman's got to come perhaps into the middle of the ground, but you just can't allow a Jarman to play really wide on Greg Williams, because he'll at least chop you up as equally as much as Jarman will do the damage. I think Bickley's the player for Williams. Somebody who can keep him in, can contain, but also do the damage off him. Troy Bond onto the ground.
Gleeson's long one to half forward. Pittman under some pressure. Gives it back. Maynard's little handball. Bickley has a second go. Kernahan slow one over the top to Mitchell. Mitchell to Earl Spalding. They close their eyes as he goes for goal. And he kicks it. Spalding with his first. Earl the Pearl. 8-3 to 4-6.
You weren't indicating Earl closed his eyes.
No, just the 28,000 that were hoping he kicked the goal.
Good build-up by Carlton. Had lots of players there. Perhaps could have done a bit better with the ball than that. Pittman perhaps even knocking it over. A bit of a fumble there from Bickley. And Captain Courageous turns it over. Mitchell unselfish. And Spalding.
Tony McGuinness out at the centre, the half-forward line. They're falling down up here. Across half-forward, Carlton too strong. Here they come again. Peter Dean, wide, he's looking for Bob. Oh, what a brilliant mark by Lee. He's having a big game. Is he playing well? Scott Lee to the half-forward line. He's smart at the back. The ball is fisted to ground. They charge in after it's knocked on by Dean. That's Gleeson. Went without it. Here's Bickley. They have to get something going here. Modra at the back. Handballed over to Modra by Ingerson. And Modra kicks it, puts it through. No, he didn't. He just missed to the right and bounced the wrong way. He kicked it deliberately off the side of his boot.
Can't have a left foot, Modra. Terrific mark by there. He went early, held his position on Bond and took it. There's Sexton. Surprised Modra didn't try the left foot, Gerard?
Perhaps, maybe, but...
Sexton to centre forward. I gave you long enough to answer it. Punched away by Wren. Back into the heart of the square. Keep pontificating, Snoop. There's McDermott getting it off McKinnon. McKinnon goes to Ingerson. Modra leads. Ingerson. Modra should take it. He does. He read it better than Silvani in the end.
Good kick, I just think he's one of those instinctive type of players, Bruce, that you just can't be surprised at what he does. And there was no reason why the boomerang couldn't have gone through, but this is more important, the fact that he's got another shot. And the Crows desperate for a goal to get them, keep them in touch with the Blues.
It's kick 2-2. Goes for goal. I think he might have missed. 2-3. Someone had the stats on him last week. I think it was Brosnan didn't he? He kicked 44-15. His first 6 matches and 11 goals, 18 coming up to this in his last few, so his accuracy's been way off.
You've got to kick those full forwards from 30 metres directly in front. You must kick them or you're letting the side down. Pusto, the centre wing, beautiful kick to Dean. On the Gleeson is getting a heap of touches. The half forward, Spalding sets himself. No mark. Lee got back there. Look at the pace of Bond. Went without it. And the other umpire at the back, I was watching one umpire, and the other umpire gave the free kick to Bond.
Look where Harry Madden is. He's deep in the goal square. If Bond hadn't have fumbled that, Harry would have been on the end of another handball and kicked another goal. And clearly the game plan is for Harry just to keep running forward, dragging Wren deep into defence.
So Troy Bond is a long kick normally. He kicks it out to the right, clears the pack, and through for one behind. Carlton, one of the premiership favourites. Looking good again. 8-4 to 4-8.
McDermott. He's playing his 81st game today for the Crows. The club's only played 82, so he's been pretty consistent. He's only missed the one.
Great kick.
Maynard from the side. McGuinness was over the top. No free kick given. Williams on the bottom. And just as Koutafidis was swinging away with it. It's going to be bounced in the centre square. Adelaide trailing by 20 points. Been an entertaining game. Wren got it down, but only to Bradley, to Williams, to Koutafidis. Good kick, squeezed it out to Spalding, who's had a very good second term on Jamieson. Spalding's kicks a beauty. Well, he saw Kernahan and just banged it out in front, and Sticks ran in and took an easy mark. Been a big turnaround for Spalding on Jamieson in this term.
And one of the pluses of Madden being so dangerous up forward is that Wren is now super conscious of Madden, where he's going, and he can't get down and fill that hole that Kernahan just led into.
Kernahan going for his second as a goal. 2 goals to Kernahan. Big difference, Stuart, when Modra misses from 25 metres at one end, Kernahan kicks it one from 45 metres at the other.
Turns it right round, doesn't it? And, they played full forwards, get easy shots at goal. They've got to kick them, don't they?
Well, as I said, you're letting the side down. You're there to kick goals. You don't get many opportunities, so when you're in front, you've got to kick them straight. Well, it's a free kick to Madden on to Williams. Danger signs here. Oh, look at the kick into Bond. I tell you what, I'd nearly back Bond from here if he has a shot. It's a pretty long kick. No, he's not going to have a shot. He's going to bring it in towards the direction of Kernahan. Over the back is Hanna. Hanna! Oh, he's hit the post. Oh, he's a dangerous player, Mil Hanna. But Carlton right on top at this stage. The Adelaide Crows have stopped to walk here.
Yes, 4-8-9-5. Carlton 8 of the last 9 goals. Adelaide led 3-5 to 1-2 at one stage, or 3-6 to 1-2 in the opening term. Nothing happening at half forward for them.
Smart's the one that's gone out of the game, and perhaps that's a product of the fact that Carlton's midfielders are now dominating and not getting the ball down as quickly, but they certainly need a lift across half forward.
Good context by Madden and also Wren. Madden tackled by Jarman. Through Madden's legs. McKinnon, well done. Wren, back turn. Free kick will go to McGuinness, I think. Just away from the footy for a moment. Was on the receiving end of the handball. So McGuinness has been quite... He was beaten by Bond last week in Adelaide. Goes low to half forward. Wren got down, covering a lot of ground to Brown. Good handball because Brown's on his right side. It's a very good kick for a goal. 5-8-9-5. Well done, Wren, and Brown on the end of it kicks his first goal, and a much needed one for the Crows deep into the second term.
They've just snuck Liptak onto the ground. Andrew Jarman having a rest. Hogg is now tracking McGuinness. Liptak's gone into the middle. He'll probably go with Greg Williams. McDermott's going with Barry Mitchell.
I think Wren, even though he's been beaten for a lot of hit-outs, I think Wren has been fantastic so far. He is really putting in. Here's Williams out to Mackay. Mackay a wobbly kick down in the direction. Well trapped by Kernahan. On the Hogg. Brilliant play by the Blues. Hogg sprints in the goal and says, thank you very much, a goal. Terrific team play by Carlton. As Graham Corns looks dismayed.
He was dismayed because there wasn't a contest in the middle of the ground. It was just a classic tap from Madden. Got it to Williams. He pops it out to Mackay coming off half back. Mackay should have been under pressure from the forward. And then Hogg, who got away from McGuinness, just bobs up with a goal. It's too easy, that one.
Like a training drill, didn't it? From the centre, 10-5-5-8. Williams very good in the second term. Wren went early against Madden. High tackle on Wren. Play on call. McGuinness back turns, gets caught by Alvin.
Well, I just watched Liptak at that centre bounce, and he was the one responsible for Williams at the last one. As soon as the ball goes in the air, he takes his eye off Greg Williams and he went at the ball himself, where surely you must have Williams in your scope.
Wren down, but Kudafidi's long ball from the centre. Kernahan and Pittman goes to ground. Lee looking for a free kick. Back to Kernahan, and he misses with the behind. 2 goals, 2 to Kernahan, 10-6 to 5-8. A good move, Bond coming on, because Lee was excellent, and now Bond giving him a handful, like he did on Collins in that interstate game. From full-back Lee. Good distance, centering kick, Wren again the target, Madden again punches away, Liptak tried to trap it.
Look at Wren.
Yeah, goes to ground, Liptak on the end of it, then pushes it forward, gets it to Tregenza, Tregenza goes to McGuinness.
Tony McGuinness with the long kick. The Modra, can he get there? No, the ball swings away. Silvani there against Modra and taps the line. Bad luck because that kick had a bend away from Modra. If it was coming the other way, he would have marked it. I want to get back to Wren. I don't think I've seen a big man just work so hard when the ball hits the ground as Sean Wren. Madden versus Ingerson. Madden should win this one, I'd say. And then McDermott came in to lend a hand. Here's Kudafides. Further afield, Barry Mitchell. Mitchell to the half-forward line. Gleeson underneath it, punched away by Bickley. Alvin is there, taps it on brilliantly, Alvin. Danger for Adelaide, a cruel bounce to Bond. Kicked away by Lee. He's got a couple to beat out here. He over the boundary line, and he does. Good play by Scott. I won't make a comment. I might say something unkind. The kid's battling his heart out around the boundary, and they ping him for that. Well, they've kicked it in short.
The throw.
Here's Kudafides. From 55 metres tries to bend it back. Puts it out on the full.
Pittman to bring it back in for the Crows. They're 38 to 66. Trailing by 28 points. Hugging the boundary line. Madden was out there, so was Wren, and so was Jamison out of play. Almost half time. Wren and Madden. Madden in the front spot. Wren was going to go for a run at him. Free kick, is it? Picked out. Advantage given, so the free kick must have gone to Wren. Tregenza's high one to centre wing. Mackay went to ground. Dean crashes through, handball towards the boundary line. Still in play, Tony Lynn on the end of it. Wobbly old kick under pressure. Spalding, good job to travel, got Wren into the ground. Play on called. Here's Mitchell. Drops it. Wren again on top of it. Pushes it out. Missed by McDermott, has had a quiet second turn. Bradley back to Kudafid. He's touched off the boot. Play on. Williams hasn't heard the call. He's just marshalling his troops, Williams. Goes towards the pocket. Good mark by Lynn going down. Bickley had no momentum to jump then. He was just going the wrong way, and Lynn took the mark. Williams has been terrific in this term. 8 kicks, 8 handballs so far in the match.
Just stretching up that right thigh. Perhaps he's got another little strain.
Didn't play, did he, in the second half against North Melbourne in that big game with the MCG? Sat it out.
It was with a groin, but perhaps the groin was actually a thigh.
Lynn from the pocket. Good kick. Looks like it's a goal. It is. So the Blues are putting a space in the Crows now, just before half-time. That late goal is worth a bit. 11-6 to 5-8.
And it's often the case, Bruce, in the first quarter, you get your opportunities to build on your confidence. And the Crows didn't take full advantage. We saw a couple of players missing goals that they should have got. And it's very difficult for the confidence to be anything more than perhaps paper thin, and all of a sudden it can just fall completely away.
So in the dying seconds of the opening half, Madden goes very early. Wren gets a good punch away. To centre-half forward. Dean's been fantastic in the second term. That time had it taken off him. Lip tack chance for Ingerson. Takes the mark. Siren's about to sound. Well, he's got to kick this. Crows have had a few chances to kick goals. Maynard had a couple of shots in the opening term. Ingerson's had a couple. Modris missed a couple of relatively easy ones. And the Crows are desperate for a goal on half-time. Ingerson to kick and hooks it terribly. And this is out on the full. Well, that is just what they didn't want. 11-6 to 5-8. And at half-time, Carlton seemingly in control. They lead 72 to 38. Again?
Yep.
Half-time at Princes Park, the Qantas scoreboard. Look at the Blues in the second term, 8 goals to 2. They've kicked 10 of the last 12 goals. They lead 11-6 to 5-8. Now, another match in progress at the Sydney Cricket Ground between the Brisbane Bears and the Sydney Swans. Here are some of the highlights.
Short of left centre wing. White will punch, or he should have punched. Brereton a chance, a fumble though. Now the Swans can go forward once more. This is Creswell. Nice balk to get around Hamilton. Kicks outside 50. Low trajectory kick. It goes goals and he's got it.
Knocked out by Fletcher. Neil at close quarters. Gaspar claimed from behind by Pios. Down went Daniels. Craven, the clever hand pass on the bounce to Fletcher. Deserves a goal and he's got it.
Lynch, not a good kick. Still the Bears with opportunities. This is Lappin. Kicks into the square. This will be a goal. McAdam from 1.5 metre out gets the goal. Plenty of distance in the kick. Now a chance for Huskis. Nice sidestep. Lost on the kick.
Minton Connell hasn't moved since the clash of players.
This is a bad blow for Sydney.
Biggie boots inside the 50. Big leap from Lewis. It falls forward to Neil. Open goal square. This will run on and be a goal, I fancy.
Yes.
So that match at the Sydney Cricket Ground now for our SAS 7 viewers. There'll be a replay of that game following this match. So if you don't want to look at the scores, then look away right now.
You just keep me hanging on.
Let's hope that Simon Minton Connell's okay. Frigo with a leg injury and Minton Connell. Now this is Frigo who's injured his leg. And just at the back there, Rudy Frigo and Simon Minton Connell. So Rudy Frigo going off for the Brisbane Bears and then Minton Connell. So let's hope he's okay, Minton Connell. Well, Gerard, the Crows started well. They had some opportunities early, but it did fall away in the second term.
Yeah, you could sense that perhaps the confidence was perhaps a facade, and it really did just break down when Carlton got control in the middle. I thought Harry Madden's been quite outstanding. I know Mac has given Wren a big rap, and I'm a Wren fan, but I think that Harry's just taken over in the middle, along with Greg Williams and Gleeson have really dominated, got ball out of the centre and got them going, and they've got such a powerful back line and a good structure up forward. They're going to be very hard to beat, and it's very difficult for the Crows, who are coming off a very bad run, to bounce back.
Can I ask you about the accuracy of the Crows forward line? Now, we've seen Modra miss regularly of late. We've seen Ingerson with no confidence at all. Smart really should have kicked one on the run in the first term. They've had no accuracy up forward.
Symptomatic though, Bruce, of the way they've been playing. They're trying hard. I think their game plan has been quite good, moving the ball down the middle of Optus Oval and getting it down as quickly as possible. And yet they have been let down. I think they've had a big increase in desperation and 1 percenters, as we indicated. But things just aren't quite happening for them. And they really, for them to get a plus out of this game, they have to continue on in that vein in the second half. Perhaps throw a few players around. Smart needs to lift across half forward. They need some more run out of McGuinness. Jarman's been a little bit quiet.
Well, he's been quiet. He was played in the forward pocket early and didn't get a touch. Very hard for him to get in the game from that position.
Well, they put him up on the ball and he didn't struggle. One gets the feeling that perhaps he's not in favour at the moment over there in Adelaide, and I mean, there's the figures. You can assess them as you like. Carlton getting plenty of ball, centre breaks favouring the Crows, so I guess that makes their performance or Carlton's performance even better. But the balls that are coming out of the Carlton centre bounces are coming out quite easily, and we saw a couple there set up some fairly easy goals.
So the situation at half-time, the Crows are trailing by 34 points. It's Carlton 11-6 to 5-8. After this break, we talk about that second South Australian licence.
Excuse me, I'll just
Sure.
actually up here so you can have a check with this.
Right, we'll just move over towards me, flexion in your chair.
You may have to shuttle across too. Is
And
that
you
right way?
too, Tony.
Okay. Tony, communications manager?
Yep.
That's
That's it.
You're on, mate? This chap doesn't wear it yet.
The amount of pub.
Quite a scoreboard at Princes Park. The Blues lead 11-6 to the Crows, 5-8 at half-time, a 34-point margin. Well, tremendous interest and publicity during the week on the second licence for South Australia. We have 4 groups at the moment that are vying for Port Adelaide, seemingly on their own. Nord and Sturt together, the Glenelg South Adelaide combination, and a cartel of other clubs as well, 4 clubs. With us today is the communications manager of the AFL, Tony Peake. Welcome, Tony. Have you been surprised at how much publicity there's been in Melbourne this week surrounding the bid for a second licence in Adelaide?
Well, certainly there's been a lot of publicity, but what's appeared in Melbourne, I suppose, is about 1/10 as what's appeared in Adelaide. So it's certainly been a big talking point in Adelaide.
Well, clubs have spent, I believe, 120,000 Sturt Nord have had as a budget. Port Adelaide have spent many thousands of dollars, in the hundreds of thousands of dollars with their proposal. The big push is now coming from South and Glenelg as well, and a cartel with North Adelaide, West Adelaide, Central Districts and Woodville, West Torrens. I just wonder where this is all going to end. There's a lot of good football money being spent at the moment.
Yes, well, it's I suppose it is a bit surprising to see that amount of money. I think I was talking to a journalist in Adelaide not so long ago, and he said before he left to work overseas, there were 2 things that football in Adelaide didn't want to know about: mergers and the AFL, and that was obviously pre-Adelaide Football Club days. And of course he returned home to find not only mergers being talked about quite openly and encouraged, but in fact now a second team from Adelaide. So it has been a remarkable turnaround, but obviously there's a lot of competition to win a second spot in the AFL out of Adelaide if one becomes available. So
what's the AFL's attitude to all of this? Do they see this as being healthy, or do they see this as being something that they'd rather not have at the moment?
Well, I think generally it's healthy where you get where we're getting competition to ensure that if a second licence becomes available out of Adelaide, that the best possible entry comes in, given the success of the Adelaide Football Club in its relatively short history in terms of membership and what have you.
Did the same thing happen as we look at the Norwood Sturt commercial that's been aired this week? Did the same thing happen in Perth when Fremantle got the second licence?
No, that was much more straightforward. In fact, Bruce, the West Australian Football Commission basically put a proposal to the AFL Commission that they saw Fremantle as the area in which the second club out of Perth should be based, and so it was much less, shall we say, controversial or publicity driven than than what is occurring in Adelaide.
I see the problem here, Tony, is that this is dividing a city again, like Port Adelaide did in 1990. Is it the AFL or the South Australian National Football League's job to put a stop to this? And I mean, there's a lot of wasted energy and emotion going into this whole exercise.
Well, essentially this issue or subject is being driven by the South Australian National Football League. That's the process they have put in place. As I understand it, they want to make a final decision on their selection, I think, or have all bids in by the end of August and make a decision by the end of October.
If they make a decision that you don't agree with at the AFL, what happens from that point on?
Well, obviously the ultimate decision rests with the AFL Commission, and we're also talking on the basis that, on the assumption that if a second licence becomes available.
Why didn't you just go straight in and give it to Port Adelaide, like it happened in Western Australia with Fremantle?
Well, we indicated to the South Australian Commission that we would work with the South Australian Football League and its commission in this process, and therefore it was important that the South Australian Football League was heavily involved in the whole process, and we've certainly indicated that we wouldn't be dealing with any individual organisation.
I know a lot of people would hate me in Adelaide for saying that. Why not give it to Port Adelaide? It's not my personal views, but it's the views of a lot of people. They believe that the AFL does owe Port Adelaide something. Yet the problem, I think, coming back from Adelaide is that Port Adelaide might owe the South Australian National Football League something, like lots of money that they had to fight them for in 1990.
Well, I suppose I don't want to stick my neck into that particular subject as far
but
as...
But that is the crux of the problem, though, isn't it?
I think as far as the AFL Commission is concerned, it has said that if there is to be a second team out of South Australia, the first requirement is that it is an established club with a very strong and established supporter base. Now, whether that is one club, a la Port Adelaide, assuming that it continues to go ahead, or an amalgamation of clubs, well then that's to be determined down the track. But that's really the major criteria that the AFL Commission has set in deciding what is the best option out of Adelaide.
So the AFL would accept one club, but you won't accept the composite, will you?
No, the Commission has said that it doesn't believe a composite team, in other words, the Crows Mark II, if I could describe it as that, would be successful in Adelaide, and given that the Crows have captured such a large part of that market. So if a second team is to come in out of Adelaide, it has to be a club that is established and with a large supporter base. Now, whether that's one club or two clubs is really irrelevant as far as our commission is concerned.
Tony, thanks for your time.
Okay, Bruce, pleasure.
Tony Peake, the communications manager of the AFL. We'll take a break, back with the second half after this. Kneel and dipper. In 10 seconds, can the Crows get back in it?
I don't think so, Bruce. I think that Harry Madden is really taken over and Greg Williams has taken over the game. Neil?
Yeah, the half-back line of Mackay, Dean and Christo is just far too strong for the Crows.
Start of the second half, we'll get more out of Kneel and Dipper. In the second half, it's 11-6 to 5-8. Right back here on the opening bounce of the second half on a magnificent day in Melbourne. Carlton right on top towards the end of the first half of footy after the Crows started so promisingly. Bradley slow start, gets it to Brown. Brown goes out wide. Bondwood's good when he came on. Lee had a terrific start to the game. Goes back to Christo, one of those three half-bank flankers King Curley mentioned a moment ago. Wellman back on the ground and takes the mark. Goes to Bickley. Bickley's got Williams by the look of it. Finish. You like that move, Gerard? Bickley for Williams?
Yeah, I think it's the standout of the Crows players to go onto Williams.
Sporting, who was very good in the second quarter, short to Kernahan. Pittman gives a free kick away. Over the shoulder. Kernahan's free from the pocket. Pittman unhappy with that. Not a lot in it, was it? Kernahan's kicked a couple. 2-2. Gave one away to Hogg on the run now. When Hogg was streaming past in the second term. Very slow start to the year, Kernahan. Missed the opening match through suspension for the grand final. Was out of sorts completely going into the State of Origin game, but has bounced back superbly. That's a behind. So 2-3 to Kernahan, 11-7 to 5-8.
Brown's back on for Carlton. Onto the wing. Elvin back on the bench.
Scott Lee to bring the ball back in. He's been a pretty good player. One of the Crows' better players, Scott Lee. And that's the way to play it, right down the middle towards the centre of the ground. Koutafidis was a big high flyer. Bickley gets it to Tregenza. The lead is on. Ingerson, can't quite hang on to the mark. Here's Nigel Smart around the corner. And just hooks it a little bit to the left. Through for one behind. He's kicked one goal, Smart. Modra's kicked two. David Brown's kicked one. Mark Lasciuto's kicked one for Adelaide. 2 to Kernahan, 3 to Hannah, 2 to Matthew Hogg for Carlton.
Silvani down the centre, doesn't time it at all. Floating ball, Kernahan and Hart together. Out to Schwertz. Schwertz handball gets to McDermott finally. Inside 50. Not a good kick. Lasciuto running on towards it. McKay got a favourable bounce. Did it well to Silvani. Again, Adelaide's disposal. Its accuracy under pressure in front of goals poor. And the kick away by Sexton. Well played, Mitchell. Koutafidis. Well, if he kicks this, this will really hurt Adelaide. Misses. It's a behind. 11-8 to 5-9.
They're the goals that Koutafidis has got to kick if he's to take that next step in football. He missed out in the grand final berth last year. Perhaps if he really is to force his way into as a regular player here at Carlton, he's got to become a goal-kicking wingman. That's one that should have been put down.
Another good kick by Lee. Wren, the big punch away, way out towards centre wing. No pace out there for the Crows. Williams on the edge. Christo to the half-forward line. Bond is very quick. And Lee there to punch it over the line. Half-forward for Carlton. A slow start to the Blues. The Crows on top in the first term in the general play. Carlton reined them in and then have gone on with the job. 11-8 to 5-9 at the moment. Chris McDermott brings it back. Look at Williams waiting underneath it. Showed courage. There's his teammate. A real dash at Christo. Geez, good to watch. Onto the left boot. Brings it up to Kernahan at the back. Wren gets back with Pittman to lend a hand and Pittman takes him up. But good effort by Wren to get back there and help out Pittman.
Gives it off Pittman. Jamison away from the back pocket. Normally a very good kick. That's a beauty. Gets to Schwert at full flight. Schwert onto his left. Centering kick. Brown in the front spot. Lynn did a good defender's job. Maynard runs onto it. Still Maynard. Good tackle. The Blues take it away. Williams. McKay. Hannah. Crowd roar as Hannah goes down the boundary line to Mitchell. Can kick this, Barry. Across the front. Madden loping back, it's a behind. 11-9 to 5-9, 6 goals the margin. Mitchell, not dominant but useful. Played a secondary role really today, hasn't he?
Also Nigel Smart just have a go at Schwert too for his kicking.
Hart, this ball running away. Hart's got to touch it. Gets to it now. Is it out? Must have run it over the line. Throw in at half-back. Crows trailing by 6 goals.
Smart's done, not Smart, number 34. Ben Hart has done a fine job on Bradley.
He had 6 touches himself, though.
Well, he's stopped his man. There's a hand pass. Coming on to Jamison, who's one of the best kicks in the team. Nigel Smart's tried very, very hard. At half-forward, he brings it in towards Modra at the back. Can't mark. It's a loose ball. Sexton, they're a good defence on the Lynn. Carlton very, very strong. Here's Bradley. Bradley and Ben Hart.
The point about Hart is that he's such an attacking player as well that the Crows are losing some run from defence with him only having 6 possessions, being so concerned about Bradley.
Fair comment that, Gerard. Bradley bring it in towards Kernahan at the back. Had his name written all over that. Better judgment than Pittman. And Steve Kernahan will kick from 40 metres.
A few heads going down there when Kernahan took that mark for Adelaide. Just hopes that they can continue to press on and not allow Carlton to just steamroll them. Carlton kicked, I think it was 11 goals in the last quarter last week against the Brisbane Bears, so totally demoralised.
Steve Kernahan for his 3rd. He's hooked it. And one behind, he's not happy with himself. The camera tells the story there as we have a look at the Crows bench. Now Andrew Jarman sitting there with Matthew Liptak and the youngster Martin McKinnon.
Hart gets it short from Lee. Goes short again. Good stretch by Wellman. Does all right. Centre wing, Wren. Williams.
Pushed him there.
Gave him a real little shove in the back. Got away with it, the Diesel. Left foot. Bond and Schwert. And is that out in the 4 against Schwert?
It was.
It is? No, it's not going to be. Looked like it was. So throw in. So Adelaide, let's have a look. Schwert. Well, it looked like it might have been out on the 4, but not paid. And really, Wren should have got a free kick earlier. So the Crows, if they got a lucky break there, they deserved it. It's 11-10 to 5-9.
Carlton's half-forward line. Guinness has been fairly quiet. He's got Hogg picking him up, the best stopper in the AFL, in my opinion. Here's Tregenza. He's got to break the tackle here. He can't do so. Mitchell tries to keep it in. The ball rolls over the line, deep in the Carlton forward pocket. There are plenty of Blues supporters here. Barry Mitchell's had a fair day, 8 and 8. Kernahan, Koutafidis did that very, very well on to Bradley. Bradley looking for Williams. Oh, look at Williams. Back to Bradley. Plenty of talent between those two. Back it comes to in front of the Carlton goal. The Blues still going on with it. Here's Schwert. Schwert will head back towards the boundary line. McGuinness, a fresh air shot. Bond. The ball's still in play. Bond going on with it. Carlton working very, very hard here. Williams loses it to Bickley. Good tackle though, putting the pressure on. Here's Scott Lee coming away from the half-back line. He gives it to Maynard. Maynard further afield to Tregenza. Now let's see what he can do with it. He normally kicks high. He's looking now for Modra. Silvani in front, and Silvani plays on and gives it across to Dean. They're too good in defence, Carl.
Dean with a bit of a fumble, then goes to ground. Oh, he's made a real mess of it. He's had a good game though. Rashudo held on to, no free kick. Smart over the top there of Dean. Was it Lynn? And it's going to be a ball up.
But Bruce, that's shocking play when Tregenza's coming down the ground. That should be a gimme goal. If a full forward should find space and go bang on the chest.
I'd like to see Mark Rashudo getting into it a bit more. He's been a little bit in and out. Perhaps he could play as a forward centreman, not going into the bounces, but coming off the flank and playing the forward half of the ground for Adelaide.
Brown's tackle on Tregenza. Free kick, holding the footy, the decision. Tregenza was pretty hot then.
Adelaide need to get some drives from somewhere. McGuinness is being well held. McDermott's not getting his usual drive, and they're getting nothing from the wings.
Madden's kick to the wing. Hannah, Maynard at the back. Bradley sidesteps. Jamison threw it away in the end. Maynard paddles it out. Williams, Jamison, Hart. Just wondering, Gerard, Jamison's in such good touch. I know Spalding had a good second term. He might be one that they could play more offensively if they could afford to. Getting the footy, kicking it well.
Yes, a good thought that, because Jamison's a talented player. At the moment, not much happening from some shepherding on Wren, I feel, or is it? No, it's against Wellman. So, well, he's given it against Wren, did he, in the finish to Madden. Madden looking for Kernahan at the back. But Scott Lee's been, I reckon Lee's been a terrific player today.
Very good.
Right back in form. Lee had a long stretch out of the side. Here's Pittman. Pittman kicking it wide. It was an ordinary kick. He was looking for Kluzek. And that's just a poor skill error, that one. Had plenty of time to land on Kluzek's chest.
Quiet Kluzek in his second match. Smart was yelling out then at Pittman to why didn't he kick it to centre half forward. Madden read that time by McDermott. His kick is to centre half forward to Ingerson on his chest in the end. Well, these are the shots, and he's had 3 of them at least today that he hasn't been able to convert from around 40 to 45 metres, and most of them straight in front.
What's this awkward kicking style?
Kicked out of bounds on the 4 when the siren had gone at the end of the first half. That one looks better. That looks like it's a goal. It is for Ingerson. Long time coming, but it's there at least, so Ingerson gets his first, and the Crows go up to 6-9 to 11-10.
Yes, Bond coming off and Brent Heaver going back onto the ground. But it is a real disappointment to see a player whose career is held back by a skill, or a lack of skill, I guess. And Ingerson's kicking has been a problem for him for obviously the entirety of his career. And it's amazing that he just hasn't been able to get more consistent with it.
Well, there's only 5 goals in this game. You wouldn't believe it. Schwert, because Carlton have looked so much better since quarter time. Wren working hard there. Now, who's that in the middle of that pattern? Just wait till he comes out of there. It's Fraser Brown.
They still appear to be looking for someone to really lead from the front.
Yep.
Adelaide, there isn't anybody really in absolutely scintillating form in the middle, and they're the people that will perhaps start the spark. Maybe a Nigel Smart, maybe Tony Modric can pluck one from the air.
They need to have a big quarter here, be with Carlton at 3/4 time and give themselves a chance. So say 5 goals in modern day football is not huge. Now the Blues trying to force it forward. Well played, Rodney Jamison. Here's Brown. Got to keep it moving at all costs. He's lost it to Williams. Williams to McKay. McKay up to Kernahan. Or will it beat him and go through? No, and it's just wide for one behind.
So it's 50-50 balls that Carlton have won most of since quarter time.
And the Crows have got to do more of that knocking on and punching and sockering it off the ground. All those, there's Liptak maybe about to come on.
Ben Hart looking for options, decides to go long. Wren the target, Madden at the back. Went for the punch, ball on the ground. Tregenza onto it. Christou completely outnumbered, but still in the contest. Now Tregenza. Let's see what he does with this one. Centering kick, not good. Kluzek outside 50, chips it to Ingerson, takes the mark, yes. Bounced off his chest, had a second go.
They've done it well for the kick-ins, Adelaide. They've bombed it to the middle of the ground and worked it into their forward line quite well. Looks like a young McKinnon, I think it's coming off for...
Kluzek, Jeremy.
Kluzek is coming off for them. And Liptak gets another run.
Well, Ingerson for his second goal in a couple of minutes. That looks all right. He's got it. So Ingerson with a couple of goals in a couple of minutes, and the Crows are 7-9 to 11-11.
And all of a sudden, a bit of a chance. Tregenza did his best, really, to muck this up. He pushed along and some good shepherding there from Bickley. It wasn't a great kick. Unfortunately, it was mopped up by Kluzek.
Well, as I said, there's nothing in this now. A couple of quick goals, and they'll get a sniff of it. They'll be right back in it. I was knocking Ingerson at half-time because of that poor kick just before the siren. Here's Lynn. He's kicked 2 good ones. Oh, this man has been terrific. He's been the Crows' best player. Scott Lee kicks it out wide. This is better play, and Bickley might have made a difference there in the middle. Gerard Healy was calling for that move. Bickley brings it in towards the Modric direction, but he can't get there to the contest. The mark taken by Peter Dean.
He's done well again today, Dean. Another consistent year at Carlton. Silvani. Well done in the end by Mitchell to get out of that one. McKay goes for it. They had 3 Carlton players swarming on it. Sexton under pressure. Smart. Gee, not enough pressure in the end on Dean.
No one
Koutafidis.
coming.
Silvani. Crows only need another goal, and as Peter said, they're right back in business. Dean tries to break the tackle, goes to ground, then tries to scoop it to Fraser Brown. Can't get it quite as far as Hogg. McGuinness is in there, and the umpire comes in.
A couple of balls to be got there, and there are about 4 or 5 Carlton players, Gerard and one Crow, battling.
Yeah, I just once again I look at Nigel Smart. He's one of the most gifted players out in the ground, and he's got a player with so much to offer, and you just don't get the impression that he's at his 100% best, or at least going 100% at the football.
Liptak's handball very effective. Now Brown's normally a good kick at 50, right to the goals. Modric gives Silvani a little shove, and it goes through for a behind. 7-10 to 11-11. Brown kicking a goal from about that distance in the second term.
Just back on Smart, he's had 7 and 1, probably at least I'd say 6 of those in the first quarter. Corns is persisting with him. He is a match winner, but maybe he's got to look at moving him into the back line to get him into the game somehow.
I think he's one of the best backmen in the competition. That's where I'd be playing him. I know they've got to win games.
Well, he's gifted enough to be a champion centre-half forward.
Well, I don't reckon he's a centre-half forward. The kick in towards McKay. Well, he's a good player there. He's a champion at centre-half back. Here's Christo to the half-forward line, the dangerous Hannah. Oh, he didn't mark that. He normally snaffles those ones. The Crows working a bit harder here. Here's Mitchell. On to Williams. Greg Williams weaves around, hooks it back to half-forward. Tregenza was there. Here's Mitchell again. And the umpire, no, he's not going to bounce it as Tregenza comes away with it. He is now.
Centre-half forward for Carlton. 11-6 at half-time. They've managed 5 points in this term. The Crows have kicked 2-2. Wren and Sporting over the back. Wellman's handball. McDermott, robbed brilliantly by Williams to Lynn to kick his second goal. Wonderful play, Diesel. (12-11, 7-10).
Well, he really has slaughtered them in close quarters, Greg Williams. Quick hands, and that was a smother and a steal. Let's just have another look. There he is, through the pack. Keeps his head up so he knows where the options are. Lynn just takes the present and belts it through for a nice one.
(83 to 52) after some brilliance of Greg Williams there to get it to Lynn. Chris McDermott hands it back to the umpire. Wren and Madden. Wren won it. Good kick was by Schwert. Was that a mark? Taken by Liptak. Liptak from the centre of the ground. That is shocking football by Liptak. He's kicked it straight to Dean, and all of a sudden you have a turnover to Bradley when it should have been a goal coming up to the Crows. The kick to half forward, the mark dropped by Chris McDermott. Off he goes. Now he's looking for Ingerson out wide. Ingerson and Smart. Smart should shepherd here. Ingerson went without it. Now he's got it. Tries to keep it in but can't. And the throw-in will take place at half forward for Adelaide.
They continue to keep the big fellow Wren across half back line for Carlton. I just think that they've taken the initiative away from Sean Wren. When he's BOG, he's running forward, kicking goals or setting up forward play, but he hasn't gone into the forward line for the Crows yet.
Madden very good to Hannah, to Gleeson I should say. Gleeson got it back from Koutafidis, kick up towards the 50. Wellman under pressure by Heaver, good tackle.
He's not bad, Wellman, is he?
He's good, really good.
12-11, 7-10 at Princes Park. Wren worked underneath it with Sporting. There's Jamison, Tregenza. Goes to centre-half forward. Modra behind. Oh, Liptak would have been hard with the sun. Lynn, who's done very well again today. Been really the surprise packet of Carlton this year. Harry tried to bounce and it worked again. Kicks it up towards centre wing. Hart and Bradley out of play. Madden, what are his figures? 7 kicks, 3 handballs, a couple of goals, 5 marks.
Craig Bradley's had 5 and 6. 5 kicks, 6 handballs. There's Madden at the back, pushed in the back, I think. And the free kick will go to Sean Wren. And I can't sing his praises enough today. He's been scrounging on the ground, doing the bullocking work in packs. He's been running around like a rover, Sean Wren. It's against a tall, good opponent. Now the kick to the half-forward line. Look at this Carlton defence down there in their waves. Here's Andrew Mackay. Around the corner he goes. Tregenza smothered it pretty well. Loses the ball in the tackle. Good play, Wellman. He got his body in there and worked over time, but the umpire will bounce.
Half forward, not a lot happening at the moment.
Bit of a flat spot in the game, really, isn't it?
Both teams struggling to kick goals or get any rhythm. Blues sitting on a 5-goal lead, so it's not going to do them any harm. Lynn round the body to centre wing. Good mark by Spalding. Crowd call for 50. Williams runs across, takes it off him, straightens up. Torpedo punt to centre half forward. Kernahan from the back. Good mark by Scott Lee, who has both Peter and Jared have said has been terrific for Adelaide. Schwertz out wide to centre wing. Dean and Maynard. Christou.
Well done, Maynard.
Yes, to Liptak. Liptak to full forward. Ingerson provided the lead. Oh, good mark.
She's had a good quarter, hasn't he?
Take a mark. There's no question about that. And that was a beauty against Sexton.
Well, it's really, he's had a good game, bar his kicking. He could have kicked 2 or 3 in the first half. He has converted a couple of times this quarter.
7 marks from the forward pocket. This for his 3rd goal for the term.
Mitchell off for Cook.
Kicking from 40 metres, Ingerson. Looks a goal, he's got his 3rd. 3 to Ingerson, and that's been the bright point so far for the Crows in this term particularly. 12-11 to 8-10, and they keep hanging in there.
James Cook is now being picked up by Wellman. So a little player off the ground in Barry Mitchell for Cook, who's come on to provide a second prong up forward for Carlton, as he did so well against North Melbourne 2 weeks ago with Mark of the Year.
Well, the Crows in with a chance. They've got to get the next goal. Brown trying to come through the centre. He gets it to Christou. Christou, the long bomb. Kernahan should mark this. No, over. Oh, this man will nearly be in the boats, I reckon. Lee, he's been terrific. Kicks it long, a beautiful kick. Now they can run here. Tregenza drops what he should have taken. He's still got it. Now he's got to do something with the ball. He's sometimes wasted. He sprints clear. They've got the high markers down there. Modra at the back. Will he jump? Can't get there. Hits the deck. Brown in after it. On the right foot, Brown hooks it back. Oh, he's hit the post. Oh, that would have been a handy one. But really, they should have done better, Adelaide, didn't they? Numbers had everyone down there.
I'm not sure why Liptak was up in the air. The ball spilled to the ground, and that's where he should have been, at Modra's feet. Modra once again trying to fly from behind, but he can take so many speckies, it's difficult to be too critical of him, but Silvani's probably had his measure today.
Bradley, he's been stuck on 2 goals for a long time, Modra. That's been his pattern in recent weeks, hasn't he? He's got 2 goals. It's been about 6 weeks since he's kicked more than 3 goals. His last 5 attempts have been 4 by 2 and 1 by 3.
He stopped leading.
Again, he started well last week when he kicked a goal against Richmond in the opening minutes. There's Bradley's long ball to centre wing. Mackay was a flyer with Smart. Hannah had his leg held and will eventually get a free kick, retrospectively, I feel. Back it goes to Mill. 3 goals to Hannah. A distinctive character in AFL is Mill Hannah. Goes up towards half forward. Kernahan had Spalding running past. Goes back into Williams. Fends off very well. Great player, isn't he? Centering kick. Koudafides, good mark. Well, I reckon the Diesel's going to shorten up for the Brownlow again tonight. He'll be even tighter odds tonight than he was earlier on today.
Well, if he doesn't win the Brownlow, they should take it off the umpires. That's how good a year he's had.
Be in front right now, you'd think, wouldn't you?
Couldn't argue with that. Sexton coming off the ground for Carlton. Tom Alvin back on.
We've won a Brownlow between us up here, haven't we, Macca?
Yes. Carlton a bit worried about Ingerson, so they've moved Christou down onto him. Alvin will come up to the middle of the ground somewhere.
Well, Koudafides goes for it and misses. And Jared, I'll go back to a statement you made about 15 minutes ago. They're the goals he's got to kick. He's had a couple of goes, hasn't he?
Yep.
Well, there's Cole Kinnear, David Parkin, some Carlton champions there, Rod Ashman and Sergio Silvani, top left. who also wore number 1 that his son, Stephen, is wearing. There's the kick out long. Bickley and Fraser Brown. A free kick paid to Bickley. It'll come back. And Bickley's had a good quarter, Gerard.
Yeah, not a bad quarter, although Williams is also has been damaging. I think it was his responsibility.
It's true. Now there's a good mark to Rashudo. Gee, they're back in this, Adelaide. He's got to top it up forward. Now, here's Ingerson at the back. Punched away. Brown is there. They go to ground. And they lock it in. The umpire will bounce. Holding the ball. You've got to make some attempt to get it out, the umpire said. Here's Brown. Now, Modra's now. They should kick it now. Modra's one out. He's leading. Modra and Silvani. Modra will come from the back. He flies. Oh, again at the back, Gerard. Yep. Silvani in front. Taps it out. Ingerson hooks it out. Taken away by Fraser Brown. He kicks it out to the half back line. And the race is on. And the Crows will get their first through Squirt.
Handball. Okay. Modra a long way out. Goes in short. McDermott hands and knees. Takes the mark at about 45 metres. Time ticking away. Gee, could the captain kick a goal just before three-quarter time? If he realised how long there was to go, he'd move it on a bit.
He's looking for some option.
He'll run out of time if he doesn't kick it.
Well, he's going to have to kick the goal now. He doesn't realise that. Centre half forward, the option, Rashudo. He found him.
That's good.
Well, he did okay in the end. We were saying hurry up, but he's found, I'd say, the best kick in the team for a goal in this position. In back to Rashudo, 9 times out of 10 to kick this.
Just getting back to Tony Modra, Pete, you've been calling for him to lead. He just appears to be trying to put all his eggs in the big specky basket. And you just don't take enough of them during the course of a day.
Well, big kick here for Rashudo. This will give the Crows a sniff at three-quarter time. He's goal. 9-11 to 12-12. Rashudo kicks his second. That's a good quarter for the Crows. They've managed to kick 4 goals, 3 in the end to 1 goal, 6. And they've given themselves a glimmer of hope. It's 12-12 to 9-11. Scoreboard at three-quarter time, 12-12 to 9-11. Now, don't forget that replay of Sydney and Brisbane after this match on Saturday. So just look away now if you don't want to know the score.
You just keep me hanging on.
Neil Curley and the big dipper on the boundary line. What do you reckon, Knuckles? Any hope?
Well, I thought that the Crows turned around that quarter. They had all the play, and they had the four best players on the ground in that quarter, I thought, in Scott Lee. Mark Bickley nullified Williams in the centre, Anthony Ings, and presented himself as a forward. And I thought Sean Wren started to get a little bit of control in the ruck, and the Carlton team was struggling. And if the Crows can put another quarter in like that one, they're in with a big chance.
Well, if they get the first two goals of this quarter, they're back into it. Now, Curls, before I go, someone's found this for me. Do you think it's too early for that?
Well, I honestly think it is. I think, look, the Crows showed some spirit that quarter, and I'm not confident, but who knows in footy? If they have a real crack at it, anything can happen.
You put that wooden spoon away, Dipper, you cheeky boundary rider. What do you think, Gerard?
Well, I don't think they'll win the wooden spoon, no, Bruce.
They've got a chance here?
Oh, I think Carlton will win pulling away. I think really Curls is being fairly generous there. I would have thought it was Carlton's inaccuracy that kept Adelaide in it, along with the efforts of probably Ingerson and perhaps Bickley. Although I'd hate to see Greg Williams have a good day if he was nullified then. But you have a look at some of their attacking players through midfield. Well, McGuinness has been fairly quiet, only 10 possessions there. Wren, he's done reasonably well. Tregen's had a better quarter in the third. Going further up the line, Prosciutto's bobbed up with a goal that we just saw after siren, but just not doing enough, and perhaps needs to be put closer into the action. Mark Bickley's been a shining light, and as Dipper said, perhaps the first 5 minutes will tell.
We're going now, 12-12 to 9-11. Madden wins the tap, free kick. It's coming to David Brown at half forward, being held onto by Tony Lynn. So that's just the sort of break Adelaide might take advantage of. Brown kicks to the goal square. Modra's there, Silvani at the back. Oh, chance there that Adelaide player was running through, couldn't quite take hold of it, lip tack, and it got away. Ingerson in the fray as well. 9-12, 12-12. Goal here would make a difference.
Well, 18 points is nothing.
Silvani goes out wide. Gets to Tony Lynn.
It appears that Nigel Smart's been moved into defence on the half-back flank.
Koutafidis goes with Tregenza, wins it, held on to, folding the footy surely, Koutafidis. Jamison got him in the end.
Smart picking up Bill Hanna, who has faded a little bit out of the game, but has been dangerous.
Very short by Jamison. Gets it to Bickley. Bickley wobbles at the centre half forward. Ingerson on good attempt by him. Gee, he had a lot of it, didn't he, in the end? Gleeson to Brown to Christou. Christou quickly. Just some urgency now. You felt across half back there for the Blues. Lee, Pittman. Oh, got it taken off him too easily.
Oh, look at
Hard caught.
I'll get it down to Kernahan. He's 50 metres clear.
Yes, here we go. Williams now to Kernahan on his own. Have a look at this.
I mean, that was on for about 30 seconds.
Yep. It's basic stuff.
Kernahan to kick his third. He's got it. Telling blow, you would think, wouldn't you? 13-12 to 9-12. There's Kernahan's opponent, Pittman.
Yeah, second effort there, perhaps just a little bit slow. He did get perhaps injured in that one. But if he's down, somebody must be aware that Kernahan was sitting there. Seriously, he was there for 35 seconds. And you would think that would be the end of the game for the Crows, unless the unthinkable here at Optus Oval happened.
Kernahan has kicked 3. Wren beaten to it by Madden. Here's Bradley. He's going to kick it. A wobbly kick. Wellman underneath it. Kernahan did the heavy work. Spalding to Hanna. Mill Hanna onto the left boot. Oh, unselfishly bends it back. McGuinness back with the flight. He should take it towards the line, and he does. Now, did that go over? The umpire said no, the boundary. Here's a chance for Hobb. He hooks it back to Mitchell. Around the corner goes Heaver for a goal. Good. Yes. Red Heaver might have put the nail in the coffin then, Gerard.
8 goals and pulling up, I reckon, Pete. Carlton are going to, I would think, toy with the Crows at the moment, unless they really can dig deep and find something. That ball should never have been allowed to get out of this situation. Mitchell with quick hands. Nice snap round the corner.
Back to 5 goals, 14-12, 9-12. Wren, Gleeson, Tom Alvin smothered off the boot, lip tack, scrambles one away to centre half forward, Mackay a juggle, Rashudo with him, McDermott in the back, no free kick, Rashudo goes back to McGuinness, spins, turns, gets caught. He struggled again today, Tony McGuinness. McDermott, Jamison caught, took too long, holding the footy. The Blues are on fire. Sporting breaks the tackle. Goes to Brown, who's had a quiet one. Kernahan wants it in short. Brown, beautiful kick. Carlton are in full flight now. Hogg on the end of it takes the mark.
Well, I'll pose a question about Tony McGuinness. There is talk that he's got a groin injury, and you just have to question whether that's the case and if he's fully fit, because he was 40 metres and labouring behind Matthew Hogg. Hogg's a very quick player. There aren't too many quicker than Tony McGuinness. It's difficult enough being tagged week in, week out, but when you're carrying a hernia or a groin injury, it makes it even more difficult.
He's kicked a couple today, Hogg.
Doesn't like those set shots.
No, he missed. You said that earlier, didn't you? And he missed that one. 2-1 to Hogg. So the Crows being assaulted now, 14-13 to 9-12. Leader come back in with it.
Scott Lee certainly hold his head up high. He's battled very, very hard in defence. Beautiful kick to the centre of the ground. Smart. Didn't fly for it. Over the back is Williams. There's some good shepherding going on here. Allows, oh, look at the way Williams weaved his way through the pack. And then look at the vision as he gets it out wide here to Heaver. Racing in the goal is Gleeson. Gleeson chips it in and puts it through for another one. Carlton on fire, and there is the general going back to the centre of the ground, Greg Williams. No wonder Gerard Healy got 1 million kicks for the Sydney Swans. Fair dinkum, how'd you like playing with him?
Well, to be serious, Pete, I've never ever seen a player come back from injury as well as Williams. I've heard Malcolm Blight say that it's almost impossible to come back and hit top form at today's pace, the way the game is. But I've seen Williams miss 2 months of football and come back and get 40 touches.
15-13 to 9-12. We're being treated to Greg Williams at his best here at Princes Park today. McGuinness with a high one. Brown was underneath it. Rode the bump brilliantly, the Carlton player then. Sporting, it was Gleeson.
He's crooked too.
Free kick going to Sporting, is it? Yeah, Gleeson picking himself up very gingerly. Now Sporting to centre half forward. Lee, free kick.
It's been like a rock of Gibraltar down there, Lee. Excellent player today for the Crows.
Out to Schwert. Just unfortunately for the Crows, without putting the finger on Schwert, because he had the kick. They've had 4 or 5 players that they've tried for a few years and just can't make it. Rashudo to centre half forward. Ingerson. It wasn't a good kick by Rashudo. Christou. Hogg gives it away. Brown.
One-handed.
There's Leroy's in there from the Blues.
Gets it back, and Dean, free kick going to Carlton there for legging, and it's going to go to Gleeson. Gleeson to go short and wide, and it's all falling apart for Adelaide here. Lynn goes on towards Kernahan.
Pittman did well to get his hand to that, and he should let this go to the line, and he does. But what a turnaround when you think, well, I didn't really expect Adelaide to win it, but when they were 3 goals behind, there's Graham Corns and Mick Taylor on the right. But they look very, very concerned because Carlton were able to pour on those goals very easily, and a couple of those goals were from basic errors, fundamental errors. That was hard, getting it to Schwert. McGuinness flying, caught the ball, held to him, and eventually the umpire will bounce it. 15-13 Carlton, 9-12 Adelaide. This hasn't been a happy hunting ground for Adelaide. Been beaten here a number of times, not only by Carlton, by Fitzroy. Now, here's McGuinness.
Free kick to Williams.
Free kick behind. He was being held, Greg Williams. He's dominated this game.
Brown coming off the Crows.
Well, he went for that ball one-handed before there at half forward, which I don't think Graham Corns would have liked. Jarman had come on. The general, as we call him, there's Andrew Jarman. I won't say sprinting onto the ground. Williams, look, he waits. He's looking for someone. He doesn't want to waste this ball. Now he spots someone out wide. Transfers play, and he found him. I don't know whether that was the man he was looking for. I don't think it was. He found Fraser Brown. So Brown spent part of the game on interchange. He was quiet early.
Liptak off.
Well,
Kluzak coming back on.
51 metres out. Fraser Brown. It'll just drop short. Kernahan. A good mark. Now, what will he? I reckon he might go the check side here, or banana kick, whichever you want to call it. There it is. Races out the captain. A missed kick and across the face and out on the full.
A lot of shots for goal today, Kernahan. 3 goals, 4, and that one missing completely. But he's been good. Been a worthwhile contribution by the captain yet again. Maynard. Wren was in the front spot. Madden punches it away. Adelaide with a chance here. Bickley running onto it. Handball was good to McDermott, to Jamison. Terrific handball, that one, to Lee. Lee through the centre with a bounce. Back to Hart. Now he should kick a goal. He's 45 metres out. And that's missed. It's a behind. Been the story of Adelaide a bit. That's probably the first time Hart has attacked all day. He's been in a defensive role throughout. 15-13 to 9-13. Silvani to Lynn, who's often got out on his own. Gee, Andrew Jarman's had a day we want to forget in a hurry. McKay to full forward. Gee, they've relayed that so quickly. Carlton, good mark by Pittman. To Bickley. Kernahan to try and put some pressure on. Bickley from full back to the centre. Ingerson gave him little chance, stood his ground well. McDermott breaks a tackle. Kicks it to Rasciuto, maybe fortunately. Now it's a terrific kick, Rasciuto. Handball inside, Tregenza on the run, goes for goal, misses. Well, the finishing just has not been good enough. Still, you don't need me to tell you that. 9-14 to 15-13. Silvani had an area.
He's waiting for the goal. I realised the goal umpire hadn't finished waving the flags. Tom Alvin, back pocket. Transfers play here to Fraser Brown. Oh, he's a loose man. Kutafidi, he's a real athlete. He can run, look at that. Sprints clear and kicks long. That's the way to play. Kernahan at the back. Can't get the second bite. Hannah working hard. The Crows come in. Oh, that could be a free kick. It has to be a free kick to the Crows, I would think. Now, who's at the right at the bottom of that pack of player might be Maynard, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, Rodney Maynard's there. I think it's either his kick. Oh, the umpire report. Oh, now it's been taken off. Scott Lee has been reported and has been handed on a plate to Stephen Kernahan. And Kernahan will kick from 10 metres. Well, that's rubbing. He's probably been their best player and he's been reported.
Well, Kernahan dived into the pack and incensed Scott Lee, and he obviously well attempted to square it up, I imagine.
Well, Steve Kernahan, one of the fairest players that ever played the game, I would say. And he's got the kick. He has kicked 3. And that's just handing a goal away on the plate, Jared.
Well, I'm not sure it's going to affect the result too much, Pete, but
no, but still. I don't think Graham Corns will be too happy with it. It's Kernahan stabs and goals. So 4 goals for the Carlton captain, and Scott Lee has been reported. 16-13 to 9-14.
There's the perpetrator, Scott Lee. As Peter McKenna said, he's been one of Adelaide's better players. He's had a couple of opposition players shifted from him, and such has been his dominance across the half-back line. Been very steady and very solid.
4 unanswered goals in the final term for the Blues. They lead by 7. 41-point margin. Back in the centre. Crowd going berserk behind the goal to our right. Kicked off the ground by Mitchell. Hannah. Wren was there, Williams again, been fantastic, Williams. Oh, here's Gleeson all on his own. Couldn't quite hold it. Kernahan on his own in the goal square. Kernahan keeps it in, held on to, goes off the ground. Chance now for Heaver, normally kicks these. He's got it. Well, you said 8, Jared, they lead by 7 goals, 5.
They may have underestimated them, I think, Bruce. But you do get the sniff. I've seen this, unfortunately, on the other end of the scenario here at Optus Oval. I've seen this happen before with Carlton as Spalding comes off and James Cook gone. They really do have a sniff here, Carlton, at the moment. The ground is chock-a-block. And I'm sure their supporters think they're witnessing the build-up to something special this year.
So back in the centre, Madden wins it. It's important, but there's Mitchell going forward, but it's important for the Crows that they don't get buried here. Lee went without it. Hanna in the goal. And Milton Hanna has missed it. Lee talking the umpire saying that he was legged. 17-14 to 9-14. Now, 8 goals the margin. I think it might be I think it's going to be more than you anticipated,
I think
Jared.
so, but we underestimated
You
them.
said 8. I think you're being conservative at the time. Now, Wellman the half-back line. Madden at the back. Thumps it forward. Here's Mitchell. On to Heaver. Brent Heaver from 45 metres. Hanna. And the big fly was by Jamison. He couldn't latch onto it. Sock it off the ground. Out towards the boundary line. And a throw in about 30 metres around from the Carlton goal.
Captain Kernahan just asking Heaver why that ball wasn't centred.
17-14 to 9-14. 8-goal margin in this final term. About 11 minutes remaining. Wren, McGuinness.
Oh!
And a throw-in. Scott Lee was penalised earlier today for deliberately pushing the ball out of bounds. Kernahan just gives Pippin a bit of a shove. Works to the front. Body to body. Pippin's little handball. McGuinness under pressure. He must be really frustrated, McGuinness, at the moment. He can't break away.
No. Hasn't been a quiet one last, very quiet against Richmond last week.
There's Bond tagging him up there. Today he's had 9 kicks and 2, and I think he had 9 kicks and 4 handballs last time. Here's Kernahan, Wellman, free kick, no, not paid, comes out. Heaver having a good last quarter. Brown has to concede. Now Alvin, quick kick, back to full forward. Maynard the flyer from the front, free kick to James Cook against Rod Jamison. Well, the Crows are just in a mess now, aren't they? Completely. It's all fallen apart for them. Even when they're in the best position, they're conceding.
Craig Bradley coming off for a rest. Bond back on the ground. Ben Hart's done a wonderful performance on him in a negative role. I guess if he was to figure in the votes, he'd want to probably do more as an offensive player. Craig Bradley, one of the most difficult players in the league to stop.
Cook fading away, misses are behind, 17-15 to 9-14.
But at the risk of repeating myself, when a player of McGuinness's ability is held for as badly as he has been in the last couple of weeks, you've just got to look at injury, because his history suggests so. The last 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years, however long he's been playing, he's a player that doesn't stay down for too long unless he is in fact injured.
He has got a crook groin.
Koutafidis takes the mark from the kick in.
Koutafidis in towards half forward. Kernahan sets himself. Name written all over that. I can see it from here. Stephen Kernahan written on that ball. Wow.
Just under Sheeran, is it?
On the just above the Tom Sheeran. Of course, the late Tommy Sheeran is the former president of Collingwood. Great man. So Steve Kernahan has had a good battle with Pittman. He's kicked 4. Is directly in front. Now he stabs this low and puts it through for a goal.
He's kicked 50 goals this year now, Peter.
Yes, and he's always a danger. 5 goals to the captain. 18-15. This is becoming a bath now. 18-15 to 9-14.
They kicked 11, Jared, didn't they, against Brisbane in the final quarter last week?
Yep. And it's been a trait of all their premiership years that they really do finish sides off. Have big last quarters here at Optus Oval.
123 to 68. Carlton with a 6-goal final term. 11 last week against Brisbane. Maynard gets it to Schwert. Schwert on his right foot kicks it up towards half forward. McKay attacked it pretty hard. Brown just laid it back towards McKay, and McKay runs it out of play. Thought he had the better of Rashudo McKay.
Just.
Rashudo's kicked a couple of goals.
McKay just hasn't been his dominant self with the attack, I guess.
Wren and Madden, a real wrestle here. Wren in the front spot, Madden at the back, tries to get rid of him. Jarman, Williams ridden forward with Bickley, and Wellman over the top of it. Just looking at Andrew Jarman's stats, he's had 2 kicks and 1 handball. Williams 16 and 13. Jarman's one of those players, I think he needs early touches, and when he played in the forward pocket, he was always struggling early. Free kick to Tregenza now. He's got Lee running wide. Should be able to get it to him. Goes there now. Oh, terrible kick. Oh, Hogg. Out wide to Koutafidis. Now he's got Mitchell. Mitchell's just waiting for it. Will it get there? Koutafidis just brushes Tregenza aside. Then very poorly gets it over to Mitchell. Mitchell finally gets it. Goes to Gleeson with Hart. Hart turns back. Good play by the 20-year-old. Chips away. McDermott. Lynn tries to break the tackle. Goes eventually for holding the footy. Adelaide free kick. Jarman given the advantage. Kicks it back in towards the centre area. McGuinness is there. Sweeps the handball out. That's a bit better. Sits for Tregenza. Tregenza to Smart. Smart outside 50. Chips it away to Modra. His first look at the footy in ages. And he got a free kick against Silvani. He's not too happy about it.
I think it might have been a bit lucky. Let's have a look. Yeah, hand on the neck.
Oh,
wouldn't have played it.
Kicked 2 today, Modra. As I said, his last 5 matches, he's kicked 2 goals on 4 occasions and 3 goals on 1. And that looks pretty close. He's got it. 3rd goal for Modra, so with Ingerson, he's the leading goal scorer for the Crows. 10-14 to 18-15.
And we've sung Carlton's praises all day, but let's have a bit of a look at the Adelaide Crows. The start of the season, I expected them to be hunting for a flag. And yet today they come to Optus Oval, and it's been one of the most dispirited performances you'd ever like to see. They've been leaderless out there. They don't look united. And really, they have to have a very hard look at themselves. I think their season is just about finished. They wrote themselves off last year as Williams goes to goal.
Well, Greg Williams, look at this. Firing it in. Hart. He's a quick player, Ben Hart. There's a couple of bounces. Really, they're not prepared to do the hard things, I don't think, Adelaide. As we see Bickley in towards half what he's looking for Ingerson. That's a good mark. Ingerson had a good 3rd term.
Well, the season was there to be decided today, you would have thought.
Yep.
The first quarter they had a real crack at it and then fell right away.
Now, Modra underneath it. So Tony Lynn onto the left foot. Or is it out in the full? No. Just bounces before the line.
Your assessment, Bruce?
Oh, obviously they're disappointed. They had a real chance today, but when it's counted in the first 10 minutes of the last quarter, they weren't there.
They just haven't been good enough.
They're trailing by 8 goals, 1, and they will struggle from here to make the 8. It's a tough time. They've got a reasonably hard draw, and they're no longer invincible at home. They've been beaten 3 times there this year. Dean to Bond. Bond to Mitchell. Really stretched his hammy there and pulled up a bit short. Got it to Hannah. Hannah with a bounce, running laterally. Squares up. Trusts the Cook will mark it. Front spot. Goes to ground. Wellman runs across in front. Handball back to Hart. Hart, who's played pretty well, to Tregenza. Tregenza's kick to Maynard, all on his own. Should be able to do something constructive. Goes on to Kluzek, to Jarman. Jarman's kick looks pretty good off the boot towards Smart. Free kick.
I thought it was interesting the Crows came over last night. It's only a 45-minute to an hour plane trip. Perhaps you just lose a little bit of the adrenaline, wasted a bit of adrenaline when you get into Melbourne early. They still haven't conquered this Melbourne scenario, which is quite unbelievable for a side of their ability.
Smart, who kicked a goal in the opening term, kicks from 45 metres right to the square. Modra was flying. Prosciutto, here's Ingerson, the handball to nobody in particular. Brown able to mop it up and then kick it towards the boundary line. Gives Hogg a run. Schwert with him. And was that out on the full? It was. So the free kick to Schwert.
Stephen Schwert hasn't been able to cement a place in this side. Onto the left boot. Brings it in towards half forward. Over the back was Modre. Got a cruel bounce. Here's Nigel Smart, a real athlete. Gets it to Jarman. Jarman in towards goal, across the face and out of bounds. And a disappointing day. Started in the forward pocket.
He's at the crossroads, isn't he, Jarman?
Oh, gee, he just looks so slow out there. He's very clever. He either plays up in the centre or he doesn't play at all, in my opinion. He's not really a nippy forward pocket player. Here's Modra racing at the ball, gets in a hand pass, Tregenza from 40 metres. Brings it in towards full forward. The ball hits the ground. Well, it didn't actually hit the ground because Fraser Brown grabbed it and kicked it to the line.
But Jarman's very much a player like Greg Williams, who needs the players around him to be up-tempo to counteract his lack of leg speed. And obviously that's not the case in Adelaide at the moment. Even if he gets the possession, the players around him aren't utilising their speed to work off him.
McGuinness, Lynn with him. Now Jarman. Squeezes a little kick out. Smart with a chance. Gets onto it now. Should kick a goal. Goes for it. Misses. It's behind the Smart. 1 goal, 3 Smarts kicked today. 10-15 to 18-15. McKay comes out, goes long, looks for Dean.
Gerard Healy predicted an 8-goal win to Carlton. It's 8 goals at the moment, the even 8.
Yeah, I think the next couple of months are so important in the development of Adelaide, because even if they don't make their final 8, the way the club and the players conduct themselves when the club is in a bit of a mini crisis will perhaps, I guess, set the standard for their club in the long future that they'll have.
Well, here's Alvin getting it towards half forward, where Williams pounces on it. Greg Williams, another great game. 17 kicks and 13 handballs by the general. Probably still best man on the ground. You know, you sometimes expect him to get 38 to 40 possessions, but
there are very few players in the league that can average 30.
You're dead right. Now, here's Schwert onto Jarman, and the good thing about Williams, every one of his possessions counts. And Scott Lee goes to the centre of the ground, pushing and shoving, going on. Maynard couldn't get there. Kernahan was grabbed high. Maynard, all the crowd calling for it. Here's Pittman onto Chris McDermott. McDermott looking for Ingerson. Christo after him. Christo will go towards the line. You can bet on that being one of those mean defenders. Now he goes to the line and puts it over 50 metres out from the Adelaide goal.
Ingerson's done well to have Sexton taken from the ground. Sexton's been very reliable at Carlton. I think he was runner-up last year in the best and fairest. And so for Ingerson to have that scalp, that's a good effort. Madden. Not quite as spectacular today, Harry, but he's been good. He's kicked a couple of goals. Hannah got good distance. Is that a mark? Yes, very good effort by Cook, who David Parkin has a huge opinion of. Heaver onto it. Normally very good in front of goal. Got close to the man running into him, and the ball going through from behind. 18-16 to 10-15. Heaver with 2 goals too. That's his job. That's David Parkin and Colin Kinnear. Hart to Wren at halfback. So the sting has well and truly gone out of the game now. The Crows to face West Coast next week. Carlton to face Collingwood. 2 big matches. Probably the Crows' last chance to stay in touch with the 8. And Carlton and Collingwood to really sort themselves out at the MCG before a huge crowd. And what a stage for Tony Shaw to break the all-time record for the Collingwood Football Club.
There's Graham Corn's got a lot of thinking to do. Michael Taylor, former Collingwood player. Bickley, he'll get better as the season progresses. He's been out for a long time. Smart, flying high, couldn't take it. Here's Hogg. Matthew Hogg from the halfback. Oh, look at this. Williams on his own in the centre of the ground. Plenty of time to go wide with a hand pass. Or waiting underneath it was Elvin. Good tackle by Modra. Silvani races clear. Silvani over the top to Hannah. What can he do? Milhannah from 40 metres. Kicks a goal. It's close. Is it his 4th? Yes. 4 goals to Milhannah. Carlton doing it on the bit at the moment, 19-16 to 10-15.
Yes, and Silvani really showing how to play full back. Great running out of defence to get himself involved in this goal. And Hannah finishes off a pretty respectable game. He was brilliant in the first half. He's had 21 possessions and 4 goals. Pretty handy.
Blues by 55 points, 19-16 to 10-15. Bond to Koutafidis. Koutafidis looking for Kernahan. Pittman gets across in front of him, runs away. Goes to Wellman, good handball. Wellman from half-back towards Ingerson on a long lead. Dean with him, those long shadows now at Optus Oval. Oh, Dean got a good break and made the most of it. To Bond. Bond with a bounce. Then goes to centre half forward with a long kick. Gleeson and Hannah with the flyers for the Blues. Hannah knocks it on cleverly to Heaver. Heaver caught, holding the footy. Good tackle by Scott Lee, who's had his day tarnished by being reported in an incident with Stephen Kernahan in this term. There's Jamison's kick out to Tregenza. Tregenza at centre wing, brings it back in board, puts pressure on Jamison, able to brush Lynn aside towards Ingerson. Well played that time by Christou. McKay to mop up. Terrific player. Lynn to Hogg inside the last minute. Will there be a final goal for the Blues? Koutafidis got Hannah all on his own. Goes for goal and finishes it in style. They'll love that. Oh, that's icing on the cake for the Blues. 20-16 to 10-15. Koutafidis has had a couple of points, one out of bounds on the 4. Finally gets the goal that's eluded him for much of the match. Think he'll hold his place, Gerard, when he gets to the business end of the season?
I think he will, yes. I reckon he should have probably got a game in the grand final last year, but he's one of those players that's added that factor of pace to this side.
So in the last 20 seconds or so, Madden goes with Wren. The Blues are 20-16 to 10-15. They've had an 8-goal final term. McGuinness doesn't get much distance. Schwert. Maynard got it off Bickley. Maynard at 50, goes with a long one. This will be the final attack. Siren sounds, goes through for a behind. That makes it nice and neat, doesn't it? 10 goals. 20-16 to 10-16. Maynard getting a behind. So at the final term, when Adelaide gave themselves a chance by three-quarter time, Carlton kicked 8 goals 4 and Adelaide kicked 1 goal 5. Madden and Hannah going off. Hannah with 4. Madden, good game too. Wren tried pretty hard. They both in fact died out of it in the last half. Williams was supreme. 17 kicks and 15 handballs. McDermott, a few touches early, but he battled and struggled. Sexton and Spalding injured by the look of it on the interchange at the end. But the final score at Princes Park, it was Carlton by 10 goals. They got beaten by 66 in Adelaide in the opening round. They won by 60 today. That's a big turnaround in a year. 20-16 to 10-16.